welcome to Sci-Fi Vision Presents Fandom Access for August 11th. I don't have my camera on. Sorry about that. Tonight we have the Ark, Dead City, House of the Dragon season finale, and Star Trek Strange New World. So if you're joining us, thank you. And we hope that you stay for the whole show. Please make sure you like the video, subscribe to Sci-Fi Vision, check out our interviews on the video feed, and don't forget to check out scifivision.com. Karen's interview with Logan Kim, who plays Herschel in Dead City, has gone up. Some other things are on the way, so make sure that you check all that out. And if you're not a member of our Discord, please make sure you join. I'm putting it in the chat right now, where you can get our schedule and all the fun stuff like that. Oops, didn't work. I'm going to pin it once I get it to actually work. Can't see the chat, but make sure you join our Discord. You can get our schedule and links to everything that's going on. And also tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern, we have our Librarians the Next Chapter show. And Sunday at 10 Eastern, we're going to do trivia and games for Scarlett's birthday. So make sure everyone joins us. All right. So do you guys want to start with Ark, or do you have a different preference? I don't really care. It's just what I had up.
I think you guys should get Dead City out of the way.
Okay. Let me pin this, and then we can do that.
We can do that.
Yeah. I can do that. Let me open the Dead City pictures here. Give me 1 second. So Karen, while I'm doing this, what did you think of the episode? Oops.
So in some ways, I thought this is the best episode of the first three. And in some ways, I think it's one of the stronger episodes of the series. I liked, there was a lot of action, chaos, and tension in the hospital. I liked that. I liked some of what they did with the Emigrants coming in, but there were some things that I didn't really love also. The Jimmy Simpson's character, his name is Dillard, I think. I ranted last week about how much I hated that character, but I really don't like the storyline where he thinks the zombies are talking to him and now he's hallucinating that one of them is in love with him. I really hated that. And, I have often complained that, many people have complained that sometimes on the Walking Dead franchise, the villains hang around too long. But in this case, I thought maybe the whole situation with Emigrants was revolved a little too quickly. Not that they were villains, but these two leaders who hated each other, that it was tied up in a pretty bow in one episode. Maybe that could have taken 2 episodes, right? And it's all resolved off screen. So I don't know. Here I am complaining that something happened too fast when I usually say everything drags out forever on the show. So I don't know. Feel free to criticize me about that. But overall, I really pretty much liked this episode, and I don't know if I've said that in a long time about it.
You haven't. No, I really like this episode actually too, and I like the way the direction it's going with the new showrunner. And I had said this to you in our chat the other day. I like that it's kind of at least right now, whether it'll stay that way, I don't know. But I feel like right now it's getting back to more being about them surviving rather than them just, dealing with a crazy maniac like they usually are. So I like that they kind of had that storyline because we haven't seen that kind of storyline in a while. And I like that it still, to me, still kind of has this hopeful, we can maybe actually survive the apocalypse instead of it constantly being jeopardy 100% of the time. And I know a lot of people like that. I tend to be too stressed out through a lot of it. So I like when it ends fairly well. I also hate the stuff with Jimmy Simpson and the walker talking to him. That's ridiculously stupid. Look, at least it's in his head and the whole thing, that it's mental and everything and that he's imagining it. I appreciate that they're not trying to do something else. You know what I mean? It's totally said right away that it's just he's unstable. So I can appreciate it in that sense. I just think it's a dumb storyline and it's not very interesting, I guess. I don't know. It maybe could be depending on what happens. If he maybe puts a walker before somebody else, it could maybe go somewhere. But I don't know. Right now, it just makes him seem crazy. And I really liked Dillard up until this point, and now I'm not so sure what to think. But Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's definitely was a better episode, and like I said, I like the way it's headed, kind of.
I hear you. And in terms of like if he puts a walker before the living, like we've seen that before. Like we saw it on the flagship series when the governor had his daughter, right? Is it in the show or only in the comic book where he has his daughter chained up, who's a zombie, right? And he's like trying to like keep her there. And we saw Herschel keeping zombies in the barn. Which really jeopardized a lot of people. And like we've seen it before when people lose a loved one and they can't say goodbye to that zombie. So now we have a twist on it where they're stranger zombies, but I appreciate that after 16, I believe it's 16 years, as we mentioned in my interview, that this franchise has been on the air. And I appreciate that it's hard to think of new ideas to do with zombies after 16 years. So give them credit for that. But yeah, I agree. I just don't see this story going in a place that's cool or interesting.
Look, I appreciate. I'm kind of actually would be interested to hear what Lauren has to say about, or Lori. Sorry, I'm calling her Lauren. I'm looking at Lauren Cohen and thinking Lori from Real Cinema Therapy has to say about Dillard, because I can't appreciate the fact that somebody who is supposed to have been left, at least. Again, we talked last week, some of this is assumptions, but has been alone for 16 years during the apocalypse, has only been around these walkers. At least that's to me what they're implying. I can believe that somebody loses their mind. Like I can understand that. So I can't completely say it's unbelievable. I just, like I said, I don't know that it's interesting, but I can believe you could go nuts. I can buy that.
It's hard for me to believe that a person stayed this entire time in New York City and was alone and encountered zero people and made no alliances and talked to nobody for 16 years in Manhattan.
That part, yes.
Right.
That's a good point for that.
Like we have seen a lot of survivors in Manhattan. I mean, they're mostly not attractive in terms of becoming friends and joining up with them, but still.
I also question that somebody wouldn't have like beat down the bar to get in there too, like when they're trying to steal resources. Like how did he keep the bar having alcohol and everything else? That's also a little bit of an issue, but not something that's, really that big of a deal. But if you think about it, maybe it falls apart a bit. But that being said, aside from Dillard, we have the story going on with.
Yeah, can I just say one more thing overall? I do like that they have put to bed the question of Herschel's loyalty. And I like that they have now done with that and that Herschel is like back with his mom. And we can see this relationship among Herschel, Negan, and Maggie, and not have this like the whole thing where Herschel was going to betray them with the Dama. And I'm glad that's gone. And we have a better dynamic, a more interesting dynamic going forward.
Oh, for sure. And like, I've said since the beginning of the season, like, I know that they completely flip-flopped him again, which is annoying, but I would prefer that they did if it just means it's done. As long as they don't go back to him becoming, a serial killer or something like that, then I'm okay with it, because it does feel like they've solved the problem. Just like I feel like a lot of the issues we had with like the Croat and the Dama, they solved just by being done with them. And I think a lot of them is this new showrunner, is really taking the show in a different direction. So far, I like it. It's definitely better than last season. I mean, we had a freaking bear last season, and I remember our discussions about that. That was not. I mean, it was kind of like it was shot cool. It looked cool. I just don't know that it was the best storyline with a lot of what was going on. They tend to get good actors and not always make them fun characters, because we had, I can't think of his name, the one that was from help me with his name. The guy that's from Sons of Anarchy.
The guy from Sons of Anarchy was on this show?
Yeah, no, not the main guy from Sons of Anarchy. The guy that was in it, I can't think of what else he was in. The sort of pompous guy that like ran the museum and stuff.
Oh, Kim Coates.
Kim Coates. That's what I was trying to think of. Was he in Sons of Anarchy? He was in Sons of Anarchy.
I've never watched him. He was in Deadwood.
I think. Anyway, like he was fantastic in this, but like it didn't have the writing. You know what I mean? Like the actor was fantastic, but the writing wasn't there up to matching it. So. All right, so right now the whole point of this episode is that they are trying to figure out what they're going to do once people start coming, because people start coming. They have turned on the light at the Statue of Liberty to try to invite everybody, and as I said last week, that probably was not the smartest move. Makes sense, but in the scope of the TV show, something bad's going to happen, and we know that it's not going to go to plan. So they are starting to plow the fields and everything, trying to make more food because they're going to need it. And then, oh, that's right. All the people came at the end of the last. No, it's in this episode. I think it's
no. At the end of last episode, we saw them on the other shore. Like 100 people were like, "Oh my god, look at the looking," and you could tell they were getting ready to come. I think that's how the episode ended.
Yeah, I think I just am getting confused with the beginning of this episode. I'm looking at my pictures. Okay, it hasn't happened yet. We're good. So this is where Negan takes Dillard out, and I did like this, and he's like, I need to know that I can trust you. And this is basically knowing that he will put him above walkers and he will kill the walkers to protect him. And if you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, I think that he actually here does he end up killing the walker or does he not?
Well, what happens, I think, is Negan is going to try to force him to kill this walker that's lying around in the rat-infested whatever. And, if I recall correctly, Dillard won't do it. He's like, how is that going to make you feel better killing? He actually has a name for that guy. But then, I don't know if it's in this scene or the next scene, he ends up, killing a zombie that is about to get Negan, right?
Oh, yeah, he definitely protects him. I just couldn't remember if he killed the zombie. I didn't think he did, but I couldn't remember.
He just says, why should I kill the zombie? What's it going to do? What's it going to help, right? Why kill this zombie right now? And he has a name.
Yeah, he's named them all. They're all his friends.
I kind of think if I was in the apocalypse, you should kill every zombie because you never know, what could happen. And also, it was a person once, and they probably would not want, every person would want you to give them that mercy, right?
Yeah. Plus, that walker's just kind of laying in a pile of garbage and is half gone as it is. So it's not in a good way. But yeah, I didn't think he did, but I couldn't remember. But there, Negan had given him Lucille there for a minute to smash him. So they get an alert here that all those people are coming. And I got a picture. That looks so cool, doesn't it? I know obviously it's digital, but it looks really cool.
Yeah, next time I drive across that bridge, is that the George Washington Bridge, which is way, way, way in Upper Manhattan.
I was gonna say, I don't know. It's in New York.
That's GW, right? New Yorkers, AJ, that's a GW, isn't it?
Is AJ there? I think AJ's fallen asleep.
Lori and Jen are from New York, right? If they were here, they'd know. I'm pretty sure it's George Washington Bridge, which is my way to go to my cousin's house.
Yeah, either way.
I heard you ask me a question. What was it?
Is that the George Washington Bridge? That's a GW, isn't it, in that photo?
Well, the GW doesn't look like that in real life.
Well, no kidding.
If it fell down,
honestly, I'm not 100%. I think it might be, but I'm not even 100% sure because the landscape is completely different also.
Well, all those trees would have grown. Yeah, you can't really
I'm looking, and I'm not even looking at the forefront. I'm looking in the distance, and the entire landscape.
And that's the Jersey side. In the distance is the Jersey side, right? Close to us might be the New York side.
Yeah, but you know what? And then again, it's hard to tell. Is there two levels?
We digress, but
yeah, they probably did add a lot of trees to make it look more overgrown. I just thought it looks cool. But
it's cool. It's cool, even though it's CG, even though it's digital, it's cool.
Yeah. All right. So we have speaking of, you just reminded me when you said that. I'm talking to two more people for visual effects. One, I think it's visual effects. I gotta double check exactly.
Walking Dead?
One for Monarch and the people who did the opening titles for Murderbot. So anyway, I'm just saying that because I remembered that. That's this week. So those are coming up. It's more for your consideration stuff for Emmys. That's why. All right. So anyway, this group of people have come in and they have a lot of sick, a lot of wounded. They're not walker bites, which I kind of find surprising that not one of those people had already died as a walker and was attacking them or somebody was bit. There's no bites. Apparently they're all perfectly fine. They're just hurt very bad because
it doesn't take a walker bite. If you die, you turn into a walker.
No, I know. But I'm just saying it's surprising to me that that big of a group of people came across and not one person had a bite or not one of them died on the way over and they had to kill them. I don't know. I'm just saying it, just thinking about it because usually there's so many walkers around. I just find it kind of funny. But anyway, this big group of people, and they have a lot of wounded, and they tell them it's because, and I know that they probably had different names for the groups that I don't remember, but
It's
this
so.
is, let's
so
say this is group one.
Jamie, I'm from Jersey, so I totally remember it was Newark and Belleville, the city of Newark, and is Belleville a city? That they're both, so Newark was led by Bauer, and Belleville was led by Claudia in this episode.
Okay, so this one is,
and they're two cities in Jersey.
Okay, so which one's this one? This one was Newark?
Well, that's neither one. That's Louise, who is the doctor, who's friends
No, the group that came. Which city it was.
They both come. It becomes apparent. They both come, right? It becomes apparent.
Right. I just didn't know which this group was. I was just going to call them group one. Anyway, the point is group one tells them that group two attacked them. So whether it was Newark or what was it? Bellevue? Is that what you said the other one was? Bellevue?
Belleville and Newark.
Belleville. Okay, sorry. So there's two groups, Belleville and Newark. They're from these different places, and basically they say, "Oh, this other group attacked us." They for no apparent reason, like they basically are just like they came and attacked us. No, they didn't say for no reason. They wanted their location. I think they wanted something they had. The point is, they attacked their people because they wanted their resources. And so when they saw the light on the Statue of Liberty, they came over here to try to hopefully get some help. They took the chance that it was something good, which it, turns out it was. It was their group. So that's what they tell them when they come in. And they're Maggie and oh God, what is my
Renata.
Sorry, Renata and Luis. They all tell them to come over to the hospital and everything, and they get prepped to take care of as many of the injured as they can. That guy there, that's the one that gets bit later. So they bring them all. And the issue that they're having, Negan, of course, like poo-poos a lot of this because he's saying that they're going to end up having a problem with the two fighting factions, that they're going to follow them and it's not going to go as easy as they intend to, and that they need to pick a side, which is what Maggie and Renata don't want to do, at least not until they find out, who's right and who's wrong in their eyes. That's their plan. But they do take all the people in and start treating them, and they have a crazy hospital going on. But what happens is while they are treating this group, the other group comes in. Not that we didn't see that coming. And that's where, Negan's like, just kill all of one. And then the one group will forever be loyal to you. And the other one won't be a problem.
Right.
And they're like, we can't just do that. And I think they maybe were planning to try to turn one group away after they healed them. I'm not even sure, because Renata was trying to figure out which group, because I know Maggie seemed to leave it up to her, like which group was the good group that they were going to go with. They couldn't in the end make a choice.
The aggressor, right? Newark's like, Belleville keeps attacking us, they're evil. And Belleville's like, Newark keeps attacking us, they're evil. And they're both telling that, right? And it was kind of interesting in that, you see stories about feuds, like the McCoys and the, what are they called? The Hatfields. Yes.
I remember for some reason, but yeah.
That this feud is so old that nobody even knows who started it or who's wrong, right? Both these groups say the other's wrong and nobody can really say what it's about. It was kind of interesting. And to me, and maybe Jamie, we both have felt this way, some of these conflicts among these groups over the years on this franchise have seemed kind of pointless and stupid to us, right? And that's kind of what this is about, that it was just pointless and stupid. They just keep killing each other and no one can even say who's wrong and who's right, who's bad and who's good, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're all human. And, I feel like that's true of war, though, too. You get, to people in war, their side's right. And they're not necessarily the individual fighters. I'm not saying the countries, but the people who are fighting aren't always, bad people. And they can get along. And in this case, they all want to survive and live together. And Maggie and Renata are let's see if we can bring them together because they don't want to make that choice. But more of that comes a little bit later. First, there's a lot of stuff with them trying to save the people at the hospital. Herschel really getting in on it. They basically do in here what they did in, it made me think of Torchwood, children, whatever that one was about the children, that was called Children something. My mind's blanking. That they are, treating the ones that are bad right now and leaving the other ones for later because they have to treat the worst.
Yeah.
Actually, I said that opposite, didn't I?
Well,
I guess
whoever is
they're
the
doing
most,
Yeah, what I said about
they're like-
Torchwood, it didn't make sense. They're treating the bad cases. Because I'm thinking Torchwood did the opposite. After I said that didn't make sense. They're treating the bad ones and leaving the ones that aren't as bad, like to go for later, because they have to treat the worst injuries first in their triage unit here.
right? It's kind of standard triage, right?
Yeah,
like
I know. That's
do
what I said.
whatever's the worst.
That makes sense. So forget what I said. But anyway, this guy broke his arm, and they're going to set it later because they can't do it right now because they're treating everybody else. And I'm not even entirely sure how he actually did die. I don't know if they showed it. It's hard to keep track of who's who and remember with these red shirts. But he does end up dying later. And it sounds like they're not even sure how he died. So I'm guessing he wasn't just bit by a walker. But he does not end up okay, even though Herschel's like, oh, you just got a broken arm, somebody's going to set it later, because in normal real world they would, but with everything going on, it becomes an issue to treat everybody. And part of the problem is they have the hospital going and all the different things, and so many people, they don't have enough power to keep the hospital running, and they end up having to they're rushing to try to put more walkers into the tanks to get more power going so they can keep the lights on and push through. And here's this woman where at one point the power goes off, and Maggie and Herschel and Louise are all bagging everybody because they don't have ventilators, and like they can't keep up with everybody because some people are dying, and then they become walkers and they attack somebody else, and they can't all do everything at once. And this woman actually, even though at first she says she won't help out, she does save the one person that's on the other side by helping with the air.
Yeah,
there's also
it's like a is it a move of mercy, but it's also self-preservation, because every person who dies turns into a zombie.
Another walker, yeah.
Trying to kill you, right? Turns into a walker, yeah, not a zombie. I keep saying zombie. Turns into a walker. Okay. And so, like, I just loved how this scene got so chaotic, where one person, like, remember when that guy was like handcuffed to the bed because if he dies, he might change, but somebody else changed and then came in, he couldn't defend himself because he was handcuffed to the bed, right? And so he gets bitten and he changes, and
and then they have to get rid of his leg there.
You could see what a really, like, one thing. Go ahead, Jamie. Let me stop talking. Go ahead, and then I'll say my thought.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say? That it's chaotic like a real hospital? Is that what you're going to say?
It is. And I kind of like that what they did was like the first thing Maggie and Renata have done is set up a hospital, which, okay, you really need one. And they have a doctor. So it plays to Louise's strengths, and right. And they set it up, and it seems like a great idea, and you can treat all these people. But then, like, oh, you have all these people who like are in danger of dying in one small place with the living, right? And you can see how quickly like those dominoes start to fall. One dies, the next dies. And, you know, I didn't love, I don't know if you've gone to this part where Claudia's like, you better treat this one guy, but like, people are like, you better treat our team before their team, or we're going to, right? Everyone's like, treat our people first. And Claudia like ends up threatening.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten there. This is when that
you'll get there later.
Yeah, this is when they come in. Yeah, and I was going to say, you said dominoes. It kind of makes me wonder, like, you know, that guy had the domino, the one with the crooked one.
Yeah.
And now that you said that, it's making me think, like, is that just implying that like they're going to keep, like, is it going to keep getting worse? Because the way you said that, like the dominoes falling, like it makes sense as like a metaphor for a lot of what's going on. Okay, thanks for stopping, Kimberly. Appreciate it. But yes, this woman comes in. She's the leader of one of the groups, and this guy, the leader of the other group.
I think she's Bill. I think Claudia's Belleville.
Okay. Well, yes, they're like, no, you treat my people. You treat, you know, they're both like, you're going to treat my people because they're more important. And that guy, I think it was the guy, wasn't it, that pulled the gun or the knife? I'm sorry.
Bauer, the other leader, Bauer, maybe.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of it, but this guy, I'm pretty sure it was him. Pulls
a
knife.
Claudia pulls a knife on someone and says, I'm going to kill this person if you don't treat my people first.
Okay, I thought it was, well, somebody pulled a knife on Luis. I thought it was him, but either way, somebody pulls a knife on Luis, and they're like, you got to treat my people. And Luis, who I really like, enjoyed him in that scene where he just kept a cool head, and he's basically like, I'm going to treat everybody whether you like it or not, and wasn't willing to listen, and I guess because they all just realized they kind of had to do it. He was the only doctor there. Like if they kill him, then they've screwed themselves, right? So they don't really have a choice but to listen. So he stands his ground. He also has Herschel there's like this whole part where he needs to do 2 surgeries at once. So he has Herschel do the one surgery while he talks him through it, while he does the other surgery, which look, in the scope of a TV show, it was cool, exciting, chaotic, like we said. But would it really have made more sense for him to do one surgery than, and then go do the other one when it was only like a 2-minute surgery than to take all the time he did to explain it to Herschel? I don't know. But yeah, it was cool how they did it and how they kind of have him stepping up, and he's like obviously going to be as much of a doctor as Luis probably going forward. It also makes me wonder if Luis isn't going to last the whole season, or at least not past this season, because of the fact that he's training Herschel. And we talk about before, they need one doctor. Usually when there's 2 doctors, a lot of times they get rid of one.
I was going to say the same thing, Jamie. We always say that you need one doctor. Yeah. Do you need 2 doctors on a show like this?
I mean, look, it's smart. You do need to train more than one person in real world situations, but in, apocalyptic shows, maybe not. But I like Luis. So we'll see. I don't want him to go. So we'll have to see how that goes. I really do like that character. But yeah, so they're both trying to treat as many people as they can. And like I said, some of them turn into walkers because they don't have the power going on, and they're attacking each other. And it's just kind of like we said, a big chaotic mess of them trying to save as many people as they can. And they do end up saving, almost everybody. I went too far, I guess, out of the scene. They do end up saving most of the people in the hospital wing, and a lot of it is due to Herschel as well. This scene here is Maggie and Renata talking about how do they decide, and that they don't want to pick a side, and they're going to go, like, they have another, I think this is where they come up with the other idea. They're like, there might be another idea. So they're kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do. And then we have this scene here. Now, I have to say, I saw the trailer. Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, when I saw the trailer, go ahead. It's probably what I was going to say, but go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, we had previously seen Negan counseling Maggie and saying, like, you just can't, like Negan, something about Negan, but he's like the realist sitting on Maggie's shoulder and being like, Maggie, you can't just, like, you're going to have to, like, get to the bottom of this, that they're both lying. You can't believe them both. And he has consistently said, I think it was last week he says, not this week, in order to save a lot of people, you're going to have to kill a lot of people. And, it's not a philosophy she embraces, but in this case, Negan's like, throughout this, Negan is saying to Maggie, like, you've invited all these people here, they're here, and you're going to have to weed them out somehow. Right?
Yeah.
And that's how we get to the scene. But I did not see the trailer. So what did you see in that trailer?
When I seen the trailer, it kind of showed pieces of the scene, and, them with the bat and everything, and, with these 2 leaders. And that was when I seen that trailer, I'm like, oh, I really don't want this to go in that direction, because and I'm assuming they want you to think it's going in that direction, that Negan is going to pick one of these people and kill them, regardless of Maggie's plan. And I was worried that, like, he was going to go off into, Negan land, and it was going to become something I didn't like again.
Let me ask you a question. Were you worried that Negan would do it, or are you worried they would show the violence like they did with Glenn's death on the flagship show?
Not so much the violence, because I would just, like, probably not watch that part if I didn't want to. I'd have to fast forward. I'll just go through it. But I more just don't want a storyline, and this is kind of the same thing of, like, what we had with Herschel. I don't want a storyline where Negan flip-flops back to being the old Negan. And we sort of had that in, like, season 1 of this show a bit, maybe even a bit last year. I can't remember if it was for sure last year. And I didn't want to see that again. Like, I'm happy with them having as much as I don't think it's possible in a real world they could work together. I'm enjoying the Maggie and Negan working together, and I didn't want him to become the old Negans. And I really thought that's where they were going. And I know they wanted you to think that. So I do appreciate that they surprised me, and that this whole thing was not a bad idea. He's scaring the shit out of these people. They're playing pinata, which was creepy, crazy. But Yeah, he's just threatening to kill them if they don't tell them what he wants to know about how the fight started. And he doesn't actually hurt either of them, which was really amazing. And it shows, I think, that Negan's grown and that maybe sometimes you do have to kill people, but maybe sometimes you don't. And that at least he's trying and isn't just automatically resorting to violence. So yeah, I liked that they went that direction because it definitely wasn't what I expected.
I think it partly depends if you believe that Negan the Savior, all that is just a persona that like old Negan put on to protect the people he loves, right? And to protect like his people, his saviors or whatever. Or do you think, like I argued last week, is this who Negan really was and it was unleashed by the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that black and white, right? It's not that black and white, but
right, it's not. But we know that a lot of times with this show that they do keep going back and forth, and that's what's made a lot of times this show not good. So I'm like, I still feel like it's sort of the same thing this season. I feel like the same thing with Herschel, like they've made Negan be more of a better person, or at least that's where it feels like it's going. So I like that. I just hope they keep that. And as long as they do, I'm good with it. And yeah, I liked how they did it. But they come to Maggie and they're basically like, they don't even know who, I think they say like, they don't even know who started it. Like they're both going to keep fighting till the death because neither one of them will give up basically. Like neither leader. Right. They're just like, I'm right. So they're going to have to do something. And Maggie, I think it was Maggie. There's more of the people dying in the hospital. Maggie comes up with the idea, which we'll get to in a minute. First, we've got to talk about the Walker tank scene. So this is where the one guy they're trying to throw bodies into the tank. Again, more chaos in order to get more power. And the one Walker tries to attack the guy, and Negan's like, go under the water. And he's trying to save this guy. And then I don't know what the hell happened. I missed like how the guy died, but suddenly that guy's a Walker. So that was kind of funny. And then
because the Walker in the water bit him.
Okay, it bit him. I wasn't sure if it did. It didn't show him. I didn't see him bite him.
Well, we didn't see it. I just you're right. I assumed that. You're right. I just assumed that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was maybe something in the water, like if he drowned or what the heck. But either way, the guy who was trying to fix it ends up dead as a Walker popping up, and Dillard does kill the Walker, the guy who's now a Walker, in order to save Negan. Yeah. So Negan knows at this point, yes, he's Dillard is willing to put him first,
right? Or willing to kill a Walker when it's necessary, right?
Yeah, which he did. One of the reasons I gave up on this show was I didn't want to watch Negan yo-yo between evil Negan and remade. I'm assuming that's supposed to be like remade Negan, remanding Negan. Yes, exactly. And that was kind of one of the things I didn't love that they did before. And where I think this season, like they've yo-yoed it back, but they seem to like they've done these things in a way that they're fixing things. At least it seems like this season, because I haven't really seen, at least in my opinion of watching it, maybe you feel different, but I do feel like they're trying to say Negan's changed. Now, whether I can 100% buy that or not, because of all the other stuff we've watched, is another issue. But it seems like this season they're kind of starting from a different point of this is the way we're deciding to take them. Forget about how they got there. And I can be okay with that because it seems to be making it a better show, at least to me. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So there's the rest. See, I was way behind. There's the rest of the hospital chaotic scene. And okay. So here is where Maggie and Renata are telling their plan. They're basically like, we need people to fix this field, to make crops and everything else. So you can get out your aggression on here. If you're going to be a part of our community, you have to work. You have to become they're just like, you have to kind of bury the hatchet, literally.
Well, I did like, I'm sorry, Jimmy, I interrupted you, but the main soundbite is she says, revenge is a cage. Is her like main thing, right? Revenge is a cage, and now I'm going to paraphrase, but she's like, you're going to be trapped in this cage forever if you live for revenge, and you need to set your revenge aside if you want to live together, right?
Yeah, much better than I said it. That's why I said I couldn't get it out. But they're basically like saying, if you're going to stay in this community, you have to work, but also you have to like just move on. You can't keep fighting. That it's dangerous, and they need people that are actually, willing to forgive and move on and become one group.
But she does
sorry.
say, go ahead. I'm interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, because I'm really like describing this scene badly.
But
so
she does say, if you all want to kill each other, it's fine. She's got, okay, I can buy so in this episode, they are using dead walkers to make methane and like the Statue of Liberty, and I'm okay with that. But I'm like, where did they get like 150 scythes in New York City? Like they had all these, like that's a pile of scythes, right? And they are pretty rustic looking, and I guess you could gather some up from like the museums and stuff, but there's not a ton of farmers in like, this is Central Park, so it's in like, up in the 80s, the 50s to the 80s, I guess. It's, it's the middle of Manhattan. And she's got like that huge pile of scythes, and she's like, everybody grab a scythe, and if you want to, we need this cleared so we can like grow corn or whatever, I don't know. But if you want to use them to kill each other, that's fine, right? Isn't that what she says? Like, go ahead and kill each other, or like get with the program.
Yeah. And, they have each person, well, not each person, but a couple people pick up the scythe. They look at each other evilly, like, I'm going to kill you. And then they turn around, walk off, and start working, which I really liked. Look, I'm not saying that it's not a trope, but I liked it. I think it worked really well. And I think that it's showing that these people are supposed to be redeemed. Okay, B, it's okay. I figured out what the gist of it was. But I like that they're working together. That's what I said. I like when this show is about the survival and not necessarily about them fighting people, because it is so much. And this was kind of more what it was, I guess, the original series towards the beginning, like before there were so many, crazy murdering psychopaths that entered the show. So I like where it's going. I'm just like trying to think of the best way to say that. So we do have Luis here. He's tired after his long day. They bring in the two leaders. Everybody, except for those two leaders that were fighting before, were willing to put it aside, but they were not, and they killed each other. So they did let them. They didn't stop them. They're like, if they're going to kill each other, we don't need them.
I how do you feel about that? I didn't 100% love that.
I mean, it didn't bother me. I just feel like it was more about the fact that everybody else was, and that they thought they were. I mean, it's just showing that like you can't survive like that. So I don't know. That didn't really bother me.
I mean, it happens off screen. It happens off screen, and they're just rolled in dead, the two of them, right? And do I love that happened off screen? I mean, in some ways, like it's fine. Like, I don't know these people. They're not characters. They were on the show for 5 minutes. Do I care if they kill each other? Do I need to see a big battle between them? No, it's fine. On the other hand, I'm like, wow, that was quick. And also, like Renata says, there's 148 people, 146 chose peace, and 2 of them killed each other. And I kind of felt like, wow, no one followed them. So how did they manage to make these people fight their war for the last months and years, and then suddenly, like, they can't get anybody to follow them when the show needs to wrap it up? Like, I was like, really? Couldn't there be like 5 people that tried to help them and got killed? I don't know. It was a little,
but I feel like sometimes in well, at least in TV, that people follow leaders for dumb reasons. I mean, they might have thought they were. I mean, maybe at the time they were like, "This leader's protecting me and helping me get food." I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Or maybe they were just afraid of them, like they were afraid of Negan, and they followed him because they feared him, right?
Yeah. And that's why I like that there's like 146 people who are maybe decent. That we don't get that many decent. Now, that doesn't mean they're all good and all. I'm not. But I'm just saying, I'm generalizing that these are maybe normal people and not psychopaths, because, there are good people, I'm sure, even left in the world. The problem is with Walking Dead, all we ever see are the people that are those 2 people that aren't. So, I appreciate that they're like, well, 146 people were ones that had agreed to do that. But I feel like that's also 146 people who are smart, because you can't have a community if you don't get along and get over it, right? I mean, that's kind of what the point is. Like, if you want to survive, the best way to do it is to work together. It's just that doesn't happen a lot of times. So like I said, I like that they did it that way. Maybe they said maybe they raided the Amish communities for the size. maybe, yeah. So yeah, he's tired and they got it to work. So for now they're okay. And then there's a scene here with Maggie, and she gives Herschel her father's watch, Herschel Senior's watch, which obviously means a lot to her that she's kind of passing this on to him. And I know you talked to Logan Kim about this too in the interview. So yeah, that's obviously important that she's passing that on, and that they are, a united front now. Like we said at the beginning of the episode, they're getting along.
Yeah.
And then we have a scene with Maggie and Renata celebrating. I feel like there was a conversation there that I'm not remembering what the conversation was, so it must not have been that important, I don't think, unless I'm forgetting something. At which point, tell me. But they're celebrating, and then we have Negan has gotten all these people to come into the bar. Look, I appreciate that Negan is trying to help this guy. Like, he knows that this guy is, has been alone for this many years and is maybe a little not with it, and that he needs some interaction with people. So
wow,
he gets
that's crazy. That is not how I read that. That's not how I read it.
Okay, that's how I read it. I think that I don't know. I thought that he likes this guy and he's trying to, get him to talk to people. That's how I felt. Why? How did you take it?
I took it that he knows that like socializing in the bar is a great way to get these two communities to like spend some time together and just be people and have fun and like let themselves like come together. And I thought
yeah. But I mean, him, like, I feel like he's trying to get Dillard to talk to these people because he wants him to get human interaction. I felt like, because he's like, oh, go get laid. Like, I know he's being, flippant about it, but I don't know. That's how I saw it. Okay, Kelly agrees with me. Thank you, Kelly. At least somebody agrees with me.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think maybe I try to see the good in Negan, and you don't always see the good side. And I'm only going by this season. Don't get me wrong. If it wasn't this season, I wouldn't be saying these things. Yeah, but right. He goes back to his room, and this is the very end. I know I saw you guys said something in the private chat probably saying we're taking too long of this. I figured that. So yeah, Dillard goes back to his room where he has a toothless walker chained up who's like, I love you, don't leave. And now we know he's completely unstable. And that, I was like, oh man, they ruined a perfully good episode.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally do without that. I hope that, maybe him interacting with people will help this and he'll go back and kill them all. I don't know. So
Kelly says, I thought there was something said about this being a one-time thing that people come to the bar.
Yeah, there might have been. I don't remember exactly what was said, but I think you're right.
Yeah. And Kelly felt bad for him in this scene because he's a psycho who believes that, like, I shouldn't say psycho, but because he's so that he believes a walker is being like, don't leave me, I love you.
Yeah, or maybe she means the bar scene. I'm assuming she means this scene. Yeah, like I said, I can totally understand and buy that he is mentally unstable. I just don't think this whole talking walker thing is interesting. I don't want to see it. That's kind of the reason. I just don't find it interesting. I find it annoying. But I don't know. Like I said, if it maybe ends up that he doesn't, choose human over walker at some point, it could become more interesting. Or even if it's just that this, meeting these people make him more normal and he decides to kill all these walkers, that could be more interesting. But right now, this whole I'm hallucinating them talking to me, that part I don't find at all interesting.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's a little I don't know, and it's not going to go anyplace good, right? Like, obviously where it's going is eventually for Dillard to be killed by a walker, probably, right?
Probably. Like, unless he can come back from that. He always says he's been alone all those years and he slipped from reality. Yeah, and like I said, I can buy that. I just don't want it to. Okay, good. She doesn't like the walkers talking either. I think it's just more the way they did it. It makes it seem less believable because it's almost like, I don't know that they're trying to be funny, but remember how I told you last week that I feel like a lot of this is like more dark comedy than just like Walking Dead. And that's why I kind of feel like maybe they're trying to make it funny or something, because I don't find it funny. Maybe they're not, and it's just the way I'm taking it. But that's making me find it less believable.
Yeah.
Lisa's, did Carol try to shoot the last person who thought walkers were talking to her?
Yeah, I think she did.
Oh. Yeah. I wish Carol was in this. I'd make the show better, but we'll get that show soon enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the end of Dead City. Sorry, AJ. I don't think we did too bad. We need to make it a little tighter next week. We'll try to do a little better.
Yeah.
All right. AJ, you can come back. I'm going to have to probably.
AJ.
Do you not see me?
Right now, I've got the other screen up because I'm trying to change this, so I don't see anything. Hold on. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. Yes, now I see you. I had OBS open. I couldn't see you because it only shows me. Let's see. But she was okay. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, so ARC, what did you guys think about this? I think my main thing is I think AJ's probably right with what he said about Bryce. That's my main comment.
Let's go to AJ and let AJ say it.
Yeah, go ahead. You talk about it.
By the magic of television, Bryce shall survive.
I mean, AJ, you called it last week. You said he's probably alive because why is she going through this videotape? She's going to videotape what am I saying, the 80s. She's going through the recording and she's going to see something. And sure enough, she's already like, where did his body go? What's going on? What's happening? Right? Oh, my phone is ringing, you guys.
Oh, that's I was like, what is that?
I'm going to give me 1 second. Maybe make sure this is not an emergency with my dad. I'll be right back.
Okay. I hope everything's okay. Well, AJ, what other than the whole Bryce thing, what did you think of this episode?
I feel like it's split too much. Like it's, SciFi could have had a big hit on their hands if they just split and made 2 shows.
The 2 stories.
I feel like there's too much going on and not enough time to do it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was too much necessarily, but I guess it kind of was because that's why it was continued at the end, right? Because they couldn't wrap up the story because they had 2 different stories going. Yes, I do think they could have easily done 2 series. I don't know that I really see that happening. Like, I know that it didn't. I don't know that that's something I could see. Like I'm saying, like, even if it was more popular, I couldn't really see SciFi doing that just because they don't really promote their stuff enough and don't renew their shows the right way. I just wouldn't have foreseen that happening anyway. So yeah, they are shoving a lot into it in order to get both storylines. And I kind of worry, like, I don't know that I feel this yet, but we complain sometimes with From, like they don't have enough time to devote to all the characters. And especially now when we have 2 completely different storylines and lots of characters, is it going to become a problem? I don't know that I find it that yet, but yeah.
I feel like, go ahead, Karen.
All good here at my house. I agree with Jamie that it's not a problem for me yet because it's episode 2. Right? And so is it 2 totally different storylines? Like, okay, it is for 2 episodes, but if they were to routinely come back to the planet or to talk to those guys routinely, I think it could be okay. To me, I'm not worried about it yet, but okay. Am I worried about it? Maybe, but to me, it's okay right now.
See, I'm worried about it because I feel like if I already feel that way, it's only going to get worse.
I'm a little more worried about how hard they're leaning into the clone storyline and where that might be going. And like we had a lot of clone business in the early part of last season. And they're going hard on clones and I don't know where that is really going. is that going to eventually like clones versus like I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of felt like right now, and whether or not this changes, I don't know, but it felt more like it might, well, I shouldn't say one and done, because obviously we had another clone story before, but it doesn't feel like to me that it's going to become like a season-long storyline, but maybe I'm wrong. If it does, then yeah, I'm not sure where it's going to go, but I kind of assume that that's just like their adversary right now and not necessarily something that's going to keep going. I was actually really surprised that it was continued at the end of the episode, that they didn't really wrap, or at least it didn't feel like they quite wrapped it up to me. And they left, Angus and Kelly obviously weren't back. And come to think of it, they didn't get back to Garnet either. So yeah, they didn't really wrap either up, I guess. All right. Well, we have the first part of this storyline, which is that this guy, and I need to have my cast list up here so I can try to remember people's names. Admiral Ben. Okay, maybe I can remember that. Admiral Ben. Wait, hold on. Let me it's probably better I get up the episode thing. So he automatically takes on leadership because he was the highest ranking person.
Well, not automatically. Garnet says I'm leaving him in charge.
Right, but at first he kind of tries to take complete charge until they're like,
okay,
no, you don't agree with that. Yeah. At the beginning, he's kind of like tries to lead them, and they're like, we don't care that you're higher ranked. That's not how it works here. That's, we kind of all decided this is what we were doing, and we follow Garnet because we chose to follow Garnet. And look, they kind of had to do that because they had no leaders left. They had to create their own leadership structure. I appreciate that this guy accepted that. I do agree with whichever one it was that brought it up, Kimmy or oh god, I suck so bad at names. I hate how bad my memory is when it comes to names.
Alicia,
whether it was Kimmy or Alicia that brought it up, but the one that said he accepted really quick, because he did.
I felt like that resolved really too quickly too. Like he gave in really quick, and Sharon gave in really quick, and she's like making him her number 2, and it's like, I don't know. I kind of figured maybe he realizes that there's too many of them, that like he can't force them to do it if they're not going to follow him, and that maybe it was better right now to just kind of go with the flow. But I mean,
I kind of agreed with Ian. I saw that as some foreshadowing that might become Ian's comment might come back around to later to turn out to be correct, that this guy gave in too easily, that he is trying to take over. I mean, he clearly thinks that he knows better than Garnet, that like these kids don't know what they're doing, and I get it, he's an admiral, right? And even Garnet says at some point in the episode, she says, let's remember he earned his rank. She's not wrong about that, right?
She's not wrong, but neither is he. I mean, I feel like, look, this is a TV show, so they're going to do reckless things because we want them to try to save people, and that's the TV show. But they do constantly do crazy, reckless things. Like, he's not wrong, in my opinion, when he takes off. Like, should he have completely taken off without maybe planning to go back? No. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, because you don't leave somebody behind. But him explaining, she put me in charge, and she said, don't let these people die. And like, you want to immediately go back in and risk everybody on the ship for one or for 2 people. And when he even says to them, they're like, well, we saved you. We put everybody in risk for 1 person. He's like, yeah. And you lost 2 people. And that really, I thought that was really important, because it really made me think, yeah, they did save him, but they did have 2 people die. So like, doesn't that kind of prove his point? Like, they're not necessarily doing the right thing. For a TV show, they're doing the right thing. But, in the way they should act, I don't know, because they did lose Bryce and that other girl because of them being reckless and choosing one life over everybody else.
But are you inclined to Garnet didn't make them choose. They all would want to save Bryce. Like, there's a point where Alicia says, like, this isn't math, these are people. And right, like, he doesn't know them. I think everybody who was involved in that really
they all made their own choice. Yeah, I'm not saying she forced them to go to that planet to save this guy. They chose to go down. They chose to risk their lives. I'm just saying that, like, as an admiral or whatever, as the leader of this colony, a lot of times their priority should be protecting everybody. And even if everybody thinks it's a good idea to risk their lives to save one person, in their case, originally that they didn't know when they went down to save that guy, like, it isn't necessarily the choice they should be making. Like, you can't put emotions with, like, emotions mess things up.
And but I'm not saying know, like, I feel like the Admiral wasn't there. He wasn't there.
No. But I'm saying the point.
But he wasn't there, so it's really easy
to go save him. No, I'm saying when they went to go save him originally, when they went down to the planet, like the whole thing that got Bryce killed was all because they rushed in.
He's like, you shouldn't come. He's like, I told you not to come.
Yeah,
he's like, I told you not to come, and you came anyway.
You risked everything because you were reckless, and like, look what happened. You lost 2 people because you did that. And I just don't think they always, think before they act. They're young. They don't know what they're doing.
I agree to a point, but you got to remember, they didn't know who was alive on the planet. They could have been saving 50 people. They had no idea. It ended up being only one person.
No,
but they didn't know that going down.
No, you're right. But my point is just that I can see his point, or my point is that I can see his point, that I can see where he's like, I'm supposed to be protecting people, and this isn't the way that you protect people, by rushing in head first. And they do that a lot. I mean, we know that. But like I said, it's a TV show. We want them to go try to rescue people. We want them to try to save their friends.
But, I mean, I've always had a problem with that. I've constantly complained about, you send in 5 people to save one person, and the only person that makes it out is the one person. It's good for action and TV, I guess. If that one person is the star of the show, then.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys think that when you put out a message that says "Don't come here," like, definitely people are going to hear it and come there? Like, you don't want to be saved, don't send a message at all, right? Turn off your beacon, don't send a message at all. You don't want to be saved, right? Like, by saying, like, it's dangerous, don't come here, you're only asking someone to come there.
Yeah, that's a good point. You should know better. But look, I mean, they are younger. They do have no experience. They have been making it.
They have a lot of experience now.
But I mean, starting out, like, they weren't leaders. They became leaders. And I mean, that's what makes it a good show. I'm just, playing devil's advocate and just saying I can totally get where he's coming from. Like, I don't now, whether or not he did give in too fast and there is something else going on with him, I don't know. But I'm just saying what he did, him leaving, that to me doesn't make him a bad person. That means that he was trying to be a good leader. Whether it was the right decision or not is not my argument.
Right. I'm just saying, I guess. This could just be a clash of leadership styles, right?
Yeah, maybe. And maybe he gave in, like I said, maybe he knows that he can't, make these people follow him. And maybe he also thinks if he goes with what they want, then they'll get to know him and maybe they'll change it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Anyway. I don't like him, but I think we're not supposed to like him.
No, I don't. I agree. I don't think you're supposed to like him. I mean, he's hot, but I don't think you're supposed to like him. So what happens is Kelly and Angus. That's a really bad picture of Angus, but I only took
Angus is. I don't know if Angus's hair lately, but
yeah. I don't understand why whoever grabbed him changed his clothes. That part is, to me, is the weirdest part. I want to know what the hell's up with that. But somebody get put him in different clothes. Kelly's in the same clothes. Maybe they're like, hey, we're being respectful to the woman. We're not going to take her clothes. Who knows? But anyway, Angus for some reason is in different clothes. Kelly is not. But they have been, I don't know, kidnapped.
Maybe he's a clone.
Maybe he's a clone, put in holding. Maybe this is all virtual reality and they're not really there. I have no clue. But they're in this cave that seems to be man-made. There's like a loud hum that hurts Kelly's ears when she has her enhancements on. So eventually she turns them off and she says she'll turn them. He tells her that, turn them off and you can turn them on right away if somebody comes. Because she does try like breaking through the rock, but she's just bloodying her hands. It's not working. So we don't know anything really about where they are other than they're on an alien planet and they're stuck in a cave, or what seems to be a cave. So that's what's going on with them. And there's like a certain group that we'll get to is trying to rescue them. But where did my mouse go? Dang it. There we go. I couldn't find it. So that's going on simultaneously with the stuff on the ship. But this guy, wait, where do I have the picture? I know a picture here. This guy, he hails them. Yeah, I know, this smarmy guy, right? Like, this guy's really, I mean, you're supposed to hate this guy, but this smarmy guy flags him down, and he's like, you're going to stop and you're going to come onto my ship, and if you don't, I'm going to kill you because you guys don't have shields, because they used them burning them up, saving Sharon and Bryce. And,
they didn't burn up the shields.
Oh no, they burned up the sails. I'm sorry, they were sails, not shields.
No, what it is
the shields or something, right?
What it is this arc is arc 22. They have advanced weapons. Our people are on arc 1. They're on an early arc, and I actually like that this show, when they run into arcs, they're later generation arcs that have different technological advancements. So this is arc 22. It's a much later arc. It has advanced weapons, and Alicia's trying to adjust their shields to deter these advanced weapons.
Yeah, they can't, either way, they can't fight them. And he's like, you're going to come on my ship or I'm going to shoot you. I just want to say, I just think this is funny. I'm looking at this. I know, like, when they make props for things, the way they do things, but it's just funny because it's like an iMac keyboard and this monitor. And there's like this weird, I don't know what you want to call it, breathing tube on the back of the monitor. I guess it's supposed to look futuristic. It makes me laugh. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, he wants to talk to them and see them in person because he knows she and Ian are clones because his ship's full of clones. He's married to one of her. So he wants to talk to them in person, and he wants her and Ian to come down, and he's going to shoot them if they don't. So that's where they agree to do it in order to stop him. And she puts Ben in charge while she's gone and tells them to listen to him. And they go off. And they're left to take care of everything else while they're gone. And then we also have Ava, who, as predicted, is stuck watching the video of Bryce dying over and over again. I don't think she tells Felix. I don't think she says anything about what she sees till Trust, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I don't think she says anything in this scene. But Felix comes in and he's like, you got to stop doing this. Take a break. Come get something to eat with us. Be around people. You can't do this all day. And he gets her to come out. Oh, no, he says he has something to show her. That's right. He says he has something to show her. But what he really shows her is that there's people that care about her and that, they don't want her to be in there depressed doing that. And I thought this was great. I love that Trust is actually like trying to be a nice person.
Actually, my reaction was like, people that care, why was Trust there?
I know, but that's why it's so funny because he tries to be nice to her. He just doesn't have the human capacity, I think, to be a nice person.
I think he's trying to be nice a little bit since when the other cat came from the other reality, the other dimension, and her trust was a really nice guy who everybody liked. And I think that who would never do some of the things he does. And I think maybe he's affected by that. And he's trying to be a little bit of a better guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. I forgot about that. You're right.
You're right. I did too.
Yeah, but I like that. I think it's funny. I know it's made to be a joke, but I liked it. I liked it. But they're all trying to help her and show her that, she can't sit there watching a video of him dying all day, which is good advice. So that's okay. So that's that. And then we go back to the cave again. There you can kind of see. I don't know exactly. It was so dark. It was hard to tell. It kind of looked like a caveman, I
love when Angus goes, these walls are too smooth to be natural. They have to be man-made. And I'm like, what? They totally look like stone. What are you even talking about? It looks like.
Well, he can feel them. You can't.
Okay. All right. Fair.
You have a point. But they can't get out. I kind of talked about that last time. She turns her enhancements off and there's not a whole lot they can do. There you can finally see his clothes better. I don't know. It kind of looks just like, I don't know, caveman thing. But either way, they've put this thing on him for some reason. All right. So then we have this group with Felix and
this is like the town meeting.
Yes.
Yeah, the town meeting. And I never remember that woman's name and I can't find it.
Best.
What is it? Best?
Bess. VES.
Bess. Bess. I will remember Bess.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc. Welcome. Yeah, Bess and Felix and also the new sheriff, they talk about, having a moment for Bryce, and then they talk about Angus and Kelly being missing, and that they need volunteers to go out and look for them. And they also introduce the new sheriff that is now going to be
yeah,
I want to say rolling the town. That's not the right wording, but you know what I mean. He's the sheriff. And then immediately after, yeah. And then he's gonna ring the bell. It took me a second to get what you meant. Yeah. And then after that, immediately, hold on, I lost my thing here. Immediately after that, Sanjay, that's her name. Dr. Kabir, she freaks out and she talks to her boyfriend here. And I can go again. And she tells him that the new sheriff is actually her ex-husband. Now, I was trying to remember the full storyline. Her ex-husband abused her, right? Because I know she had to learn not karate, but whatever, self-defense to
we don't really know much about it other than like she's traumatized from an abusive relationship. Yes. That's all we really know.
Right, which I kind of get out of this scene. It's trying to say that he was a drunk and he abused her. He's telling her
no excuse.
No, I'm saying this is his excuse. He's telling her that he isn't drunk anymore and that he's
now sober. We don't know if he was drugs, alcohol, whatever, but he says I'm sober.
Yeah, sure, that's true. You're right. It could be drugs. I'm assuming alcohol, but he says he's sober. He's changed. He's not like he used to be. Blah blah blah. I mean, again, you're right. No excuses. So he was not a good guy. Unsurprisingly, Marsh does not accept this, even though Dr. Kabir is like, I have to take care of this myself. You can't do this. He doesn't listen and he threatens him. He does let him go, though. He doesn't punch him yet. But she gets upset because he is doing this when she doesn't want him to. She wants to take care of it herself and to talk to him herself and not have him be involved trying to protect her.
But I think Candyman, I have to protect my woman.
Yeah. I'm 100% team. I was gonna say Sanjay. That's not her name. Her name is what's her name?
Her name's Sanjay, but she's Dr. Kabir.
Dr. Kabir. I'm 100% Dr. Kabir in this because here's I guess she's attracted to overbearing men who won't listen to her, do things their way, and control things and take care of it. Because she clearly told him up front, don't go near him. I will handle this. And then he sneaks around and follows her. And she's like, no, get out of here. I told you. And then he still sneaks around and he assaults this guy. I mean, he assaulted him, right? Unprovoked. Yeah. And what does he know about it? I'm not sure what Sanjay has told him about it other than my ex-husband was abusive, right? Sanjay should wash her hands of both of them at this point. Marsh did not. Assuming to me, Marsh did not come off good in this episode.
No, I get it. He's trying to protect her, but she said no, and that's not okay.
Protect her from what?
There's
nothing she needs protecting from right now. She said she's going to handle it herself.
And she told him, I don't need you to protect me. And he went
behind her back and did it anyway.
He's an overbearing jerk.
But I do remember her being traumatized. And I think that was before she met him, though, wasn't it? When she was learning self-defense and everything.
She wouldn't kiss him and stuff at first because she was all traumatized and whatever. And then she says something to Felix, and Felix is like, maybe if I teach you self-defense, would you feel better? And she's like, yeah. Right.
I get him wanting to protect her, but not in the way he's doing it.
She asked him not to.
No, I said not in the way he's doing it. I just said I can understand him wanting to protect her, but she told him to back off, and he's not listening.
I guess so. I don't love that. Actually, this instinct that I'm going to protect my woman. I don't think it's okay, and I don't like it in him. That he's I'm going to protect you. I need to protect you. It's very patriarchal and condescending to the woman.
And the biggest problem is there's nothing she needs protecting from.
No, he hasn't done anything.
It's in the past. It's over. She's dealing with it. It has nothing to do with Marsh at all. And he needs to just back the fuck off.
True.
And let it be.
To be fair, we don't really know.
Well, no, because I got a prediction.
But yes,
he just stirred shit up now.
Oh yeah, of course.
You know, if the sheriff there was like, you know, going around or, you know, around Kabir and saying things and, you know, whatever, I could understand him wanting to a little more, but nothing has happened. It's, hey, this is my ex that was abusive. I don't drink anymore. Not an excuse. Sorry. You know, go about our business. And then Bucknut here decides that he's going to take it upon himself after, you know, I mean, great start to your relationship. Hey, I got this. Don't worry. No, you don't. Yeah. I'm the man. I'll take care of it.
I am curious though what he told him and like why he's so, you know. But either way, he doesn't listen, and he should be.
And not for nothing. I know part of the problem. He's a doctor. He's got a God complex.
True. So there's a lot back on the ship of them disagreeing with him and the way he's trying to run things, and they eventually come up with a plan that they get all excited because they think that it's going to work and that he'll accept it. But meanwhile, they go on the ship and they find out that the whole ship is clones. And they eventually find out that he is a clone as well. I don't have a picture showing that. Although it is interesting. And I think they bring up the fact that he's the only one of that clone though. Like they realize he's a clone, but there's no other ones. So that's kind of interesting.
So is he a clone? He says he's a clone.
I don't remember why they thought he was a clone because he didn't say that. They
he said it out. He just said my whole ship is clones. Does he ever say I'm a clone? And we don't see anybody else who looks like him, right? Is he a clone?
I feel like it was something they discovered, but I'm forgetting the details. I don't remember.
I don't remember anything about him being a clone.
Well, I know they thought he was a clone because they say something about like him being.
They thought he was a clone, but I don't remember anything about proof that he's a clone.
Yeah, because I kind of assumed at the beginning that like he's just has the ship of clones because I don't know.
He has a ship of clones, but we don't see anybody who looks like him, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
And he never says I am a clone. He just says like I'm the leader of this ship. He says I'm the leader. You know, Garnet says I'm the captain. He clearly says I'm the leader. He doesn't say I'm the captain. And then he goes on about clones, but he never says yes, I am a clone, right?
Yes.
Kelly, thank you. Kelly.
Yeah, she's right. There was a picture of him on the wall, and she said something like, "Is this you?" And he's like, "No, this was the person I was cloned from." Basically, is what he said.
That's right. You know what though? I know. I think I don't think he's a clone. I think he's that person.
Maybe it's a picture of him.
Yeah, could be. Either way, he's telling them that this is a place where clones are free and they can live and be happy, but yet they're happy where they're at, and he kidnapped them and is trying to force them to stay here. So it's kind of like, you know, he's not.
Well, you know what's interesting? I mean, not so much the Ian clones, but Garnet, as far as she knew, she was the last one of her clones.
Yeah, her and her sister, and then her sister died. But so
but Ian also thought it was only him and the boys in the lab.
Sure. Yeah, but he knew of their existence. She didn't.
She knew her sister existed.
She did after, but for quite a while she didn't know she was a clone, right? Or did she? No, she did.
She and her sister were raised together in a lab.
But they were the only ones where he knew there were other clones of him, not necessarily where they were, but he knew that he was like just.
But there were only like 3 or 4 of them in the lab. Ian and his brothers.
Yeah. So either way, there's a lot of them, and it's assuming that all the other red shirts running around are other clones.
I think the Ian clones are really boring, and they just look like Ian in different clothes. And then the Garnet clones are outrageous and hilarious, all of them, right?
Yeah, that's so funny. Oh, you're not wrong. Yeah, they do look like
Christy looks like she had a lot of fun with this episode.
Yeah, she does. So yeah, he married one of them too. So yeah. Meanwhile, they're coming up with a plan. Wait, let me see. Okay.
Meanwhile,
they're coming up with a plan.
So why is he dressed like? Can you go back? Like, why is he wearing like total beige? Like,
he's a Bond villain.
He looks a little
smarmy. That's what I said. He's like
he does, and he looks a little like Miami Vice without the color.
Oh my God, yeah, he does.
Right? It's like if somebody bleached out Miami Vice and didn't let them have like
so funny, but you're totally right, but it's funny. Looks like they just folded the collar under there. It's hard to know. But anyway, he is telling them that they're going to
look at that. That's totally Crockett and Tubbs, and right with no color.
He I think at one point he says they're going to take blood because he needs to prove that they're not the
third generation
or whatever. Yeah, he needs to know they're not the ones that are going to go crazy. And we've found, had those in the show before. We know that they're not. And they're saying they can't be, or they would have already, gone crazy. But he says, not necessarily. So now we have to worry about that too. Well, or he could be totally making it up because we know he's lying. So who knows? Yeah. Then we have Alicia and Kimmy here, who are all excited because they have a plan that they think is safe, that is a good way to go back and get Garnett. And he still turns it down. Ben still turns it down. So they're like, is that your final answer? And then they fucking cattle prod him, which was awesome.
Can you go back?
Yeah.
Am I the only person so Alicia often is wearing the double tank top like this or the sports bra tank top. Ava dresses like this. This is a very casual ship, right? Like I last week or 2 weeks ago, I was like, why is Bryce always going around everybody on the ship is going around a tank top? Is it like super hot? Like, I just feel like they are not
they are all super hot, and
that's why they want the
tank tops.
Yeah,
they're hot.
That's a good point, though.
Not professional. It's not a professional. I mean, look, I'm not. Look, I should not be saying like whether a person can like show their body, and that's fine. But they're very non-military, right?
You know, it's actually funny. The only one that technically is okay. It's okay is Alicia because she's not military. She's a civilian.
She's a civilian, and she was on like the trash crew when they recruited her. Right? Yeah.
Well, also, Ava was an engineer, so she really isn't that either. So
what do you mean she's not that either? That she is an officer.
Yeah, she's an officer.
She's an engineer. Was she an officer? Okay.
Engineers are officers.
Engineers can be officers.
Okay, true.
Her job is engineering, but she's an officer on that ship, or she has a rank and a role in the military on that ship.
Yeah. Well, either way, they all were very low ranking. I mean, that was kind of the point. All the high ranking people were gone.
Well,
so
they were. I mean,
I do what they want.
I think Christy and Garnett and Reese and Bryce were all.
You just want to call everybody by their first names. You mean Spencer?
Garnett was definitely an ensign, right? They were ensigns, which is like the role of cadet.
They were all lieutenants.
They were all lieutenants.
Yeah. Her Bryce and
Yeah, but didn't they make themselves lieutenants? Because isn't that what this guy is?
No,
they were when they
were an admiral.
Admiral, I know. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
When they woke up, they were lieutenants, right?
Either way, they were low ranking, and now they're suddenly like, captain and everything.
Not suddenly, everyone was dead. Everyone was dead. Someone had to be the captain, right?
I know, but I mean, in the scope of the show, suddenly they found themselves in this position. But to be fair, Garnett dresses a little more professional, and she's the captain. It makes sense. So anyway, they cattle prod this guy. Was my point.
I loved it. I loved that part.
Yeah, I did too. They worked together. They cattle prodded him, and they locked him in the room, and they're like, "Don't let him out."
And they did make it clear earlier in the episode that this is not a military ship. The GSA is gone. This is now really a civilian ship, right?
Yeah, and we choose who we follow, and fuck you. That's pretty much it.
Yes, Jamie, yes.
So, they are taking it over. They're staging a coup, and they are doing what they want. All right, so
let me ask you something.
It's called
how is that any better than anything anybody's ever done to them?
It's not, but
not
still funny.
So because it's the people we like, it's okay.
I mean, mutiny is really bad. Mutiny is bad.
And the thing is Garnett put him in charge because she trusted him, and it's kind of like going against her to.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly where I was going with this.
Yes, it is, but it is a TV show, and it is funny. But
yeah, but that's becoming a problem.
No, you're right. They are very like I said, they're reckless.
I mean, it would be interesting if when Garnett comes back, because she will. would she be like, I'm mad at you guys. I told you he was in charge and you mutinied against him. And right.
Oh,
like,
I'm sure she'll be pissed off. Yeah, I'm sure she will be.
I would like to see her be mad about that and not be like, oh, they're my friends.
Tried to save me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So back on the planet, they are launching the search party for Alicia, or not Alicia,
Kelly and
Angus and Kelly. I'll get their names right eventually. Angus and Kelly. And this sheriff guy wants.
His name is Milan Petrovich.
Milan Petrovich. Okay, Petrovich here doesn't, like, at a certain point, like, he wants to give up and go in for the night. He's like, we'll come back tomorrow. Everybody's tired. And
I love that. I love that shot, Jamie, where he's touching Felix, and Felix is clearly like, oh my God, get your hand off me. Right?
Yeah.
He looks like he's trying. He looks like he's poorly trying to do the Vulcan neck pinch.
I actually know what that means, but I think from Big Bang Theory, not from Star Trek, but I know what you mean. So anyway, yeah, Felix wants to keep looking, and he's like, we're all tired. And look, Felix is like, you can go if you want. And then the damn asshole takes them all with him. And he's like, okay, anybody who wants to leave. Like, really, dude? So rude. But
yeah, aren't we glad we made this schmuck the sheriff?
Yeah, I know. So everybody gives up but Felix. And we find out later in the episode there may be more to it than that. But for right now, Felix is just like, crap. He's not giving up. He's going to go keep looking. And then here we have Ava and Trust, where Trust is like, you can't keep doing this. And he is, like I said, he is really trying to be nice. But she says how in the video, like, all of a sudden his body disappears. And she's like, what happened to him? He's like, I'm sorry to say this, but they were probably eating.
Yeah, so
he was trying. Look, he was trying. He's just not good at it. But he does get her pulled away from the computer finally, which is good. But yeah, she clearly found something. And look, you said this from the beginning, so I do. That makes me feel better, though. I don't care if it makes absolutely no sense. I want Bryce back, dude. I don't care. So I'm down with it.
Maybe somebody beamed him on their ship.
Maybe
before he was
they're
dead.
in the future, who knows? Like I said before, even if they got him and he was like almost completely dead, like they, I think, probably have technology to bring him back to life anyway.
Bring him back to home base. Kabir can magically save him.
Yeah, magic of TV, as you said.
The only time I like Kabir.
Yeah, and okay, and then that's him saying he's quitting. And okay, hold on, I got to turn my camera off. You guys talk a second. I got to put the dog in.
So
sorry, this is time.
Here's Kelly and Angus hearing the loud ear-splitting noise. I gotta say, I didn't really love this part of the episode. I felt like it didn't really go anywhere. We spent a lot of time with these two in a cave with no answers, no clues found at all. Never mind answers given, no clues found even, right? Like this, I felt like went on a little too long with nothing happening. Is it just me?
No, it's not just you, and that's kind of what I was saying. When we first started talking about this, I don't like the split time between. They spent so much time in here when they could have been spending time doing other stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't mind maybe the split time with the planet, but we spent time with people in a cave, like not doing anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. We could have been spending more time with the clones or something.
Yeah, or on the planet with like other things happening that are more interesting on this planet. Like, I think they're obviously trying to introduce the idea that there's a presence or a people or a race on this planet that was there already, right? I don't know why they built a cave noise chamber and put these two in it. I'm not sure why they were taken. Are they the first people to go out this far? Is that why? Or is there something special about these two? Or I don't know. But like we went on and on in this cave and
Angus stole our tablet.
Oh yeah. Angus stole our
tablet.
It
seems like somebody grabbed them at any rate.
Zero clues. After all what happens here, zero clues. Zero clues came to us.
Yes, I agree that this storyline isn't as interesting. I would agree with that. Okay, so there's this whole part where they go through a door and there's lava, so they back up through the other door. He can start at a certain point. He can hear the noise too. It isn't just her; they can hear it. All right, and then here's clothes.
Why is everybody on this clone ship dressed like they're from the 80s?
That's a good question. They are, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know.
That is some hair.
Yeah, it is. But she's like, you could totally borrow my clothes, and she's like, yes.
Well, I don't know why all the other Garnets seem to be I mean, it's entertaining, but they're very silly and ditzy women, all of them, right?
Yeah. It's funny. Well, except for the scientist here, you can kind of see her in that
scientist there. Yeah,
he's serious. So we find out through the course of this that there's something that Garnet has that he
in
wants.
Her blood,
in her blood, in her brain, something we don't really know, but she's got something in there that he's after that makes her the one he's been looking for, because the different clones say something like there's he's got all these Garnets and not the one he wanted, which I think actually it's her that says it, his wife, that Ian sneaks in and she's like thinks he's a different clone that she is having an affair with.
Clark. She's like, Clark, you're here.
So she's like, I'm gonna tell him you're here, and he's like, I don't think you want to tell him, because then I'll tell him you're having an affair with Clark, right? So yeah, he gets the information from her.
Now that is some hair. That is some hair, right? In this,
that's some dynasty level shit right there.
It is, but it is all 80s though. You're so right, and I hadn't really thought about it. It's
very
funny.
80s. And Neo says some of the Garnets were unrecognizable. Some of them really were, right, as they were passing in the background. And that hair is insane. I love it. And those earrings, it is dynasty. You're right, AJ. This is dynasty level shit.
Yeah. Well, maybe I don't know. It makes it feel like, because that guy's like, so the way he is, like these are like his slaves or something, the way I don't know. That's the way it feels to me. Like he's made this ship of clones, and they're just like his servants or whatever. I don't know that it's supposed to feel that way, but it does to me.
You mean like a cult of personality around him, kind of?
Yeah, like they're just like, oh, like I don't know if he saved them or he made them to do his bidding. I don't know.
Well, I have a question.
They don't seem like they don't want to be there, but I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
You don't actually see them do his bidding.
No, true. But I don't know. I'm just saying, I feel like that's what it makes me feel.
I kind of feel like, what do we know about the creator of the clones? I almost wonder if he is the creator.
Maybe. He's like Papa Clone.
Yeah.
And he created it. He probably was more tied in with Evelyn than we know right now, right? Like the whole beginning of this is where Garnet is, it's not their sole mission, but they want to find Maddox and find out what she was doing and why she was going out in this area of space, right? And
yeah, she was like to meet him. That was why they went to his place, or why they held him down. Because I was thinking he called them. They were going to see him or something to find out why she was supposed to meet him or something like that, right? I forgot about that.
Yeah, they were going to meet, and he's like, I don't know what she wanted, and he's denying. But I think clearly, with her interest in enhanced humans and his interest in clones, like there's definitely something going on here, right?
Enhanced clones, enhanced clone army.
Yeah.
Well, they decide they're and this was actually before that other scene, but that they're kind of dividing and conquering, and she's going off to try to find, what's going on. And I think he's trying to find the way out, or vice versa. They're split up. And this is where the other,
it's because they're what are those things on their wrist? I want to call them the WC, but that means water closet.
I don't know,
WDs, whatever. They were taken away from them and put in a secure place. And I think they're going to split up, and like, one of them is going to go find their little wrist machines, and
and their communication devices, so they can call their ship.
Yeah.
Because the rescue crew, meanwhile, is on the way, and I don't know if I have a picture when they figure it out, but when they get there, the ship is gone. They've vanished. So that guy's moved the ship, and they have no idea where to get her.
Why is that a surprise to them? Right? If I kidnapped your friends, wouldn't I then leave the area so you couldn't?
Yeah, we're not going to sit there and wait for you.
Maybe, but at the same time, in a TV show, if they had weapons that couldn't beat them, and
look at the puppy. You guys, look at the puppy.
Maybe you wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, she's puppy.
I'm sorry, I got to enlarge this and look at the little puppy.
Puppy. She's being good. She should be in her kennel in bed, but I want to hold her a little bit first. So,
all right, sorry.
As long as she sits on my lap, she can stay here.
I digress, but
anyway, I was just saying that like they weren't as strong as them in TV. Some leaders would have like just been like, oh, they can't beat us anyway, and not worry about it. But they disappeared. They did leave. And then we have science techie Garnet here, clone, who is going to, I think, cut open her head. At least it looked like that was the plan. So, and there, that other woman, like I said, she did tell Ian, she did tell Ian that he had all these different Garnet, well, he doesn't call them Garnet, that she's a number, clones, and that not the one he wanted. Like, she is the one that he wants because of something. I wondered, my guess kind of is if he is a clone, that maybe there's something in her blood, like she was different, that was what would save them, or like maybe he's got that. Because remember how he said like they said that they can't be version 3s because they would have went crazy or whatever, and then he said something like not necessarily. So I wonder if like that's what he is, and there's something in her that can stop
all
that.
the clones had different purposes, and Garnet and her sister were designed to live in space. Like they were genetically engineered and cloned for long-term missions and life in space, right? That was their thing. Whereas Ian was a organ donor, right? Isn't that Garnet's thing, living in space?
Yeah, weren't they all made to be organ donors though? I mean,
No.
No.
Ian and his cohort were cloned to be organ donors for other people. Garnet and her sister were engineered, were special.
Yeah,
they're different clones, and they are meant to live in space.
Right, but I thought everybody other than her was just for organs.
No, just the Ians.
Okay.
The Ians and Reeses were meant to be clones.
I see.
Organ donors. They have different purposes.
I see. Well, either way, whatever it is that's in Garnet, they want it, and it looks like she's about to cut her head open.
And apparently, like Garnet now, it appears, is not susceptible to anesthesia, right? She like wakes up and the girl's like, "Oh, our metabolism is great," and then she is like ready to cut her with that thing with no anesthesia.
Yeah. Now I remember vaguely that Garnet was stronger, I think, because of a lot of the stuff they did to her and her sister, right? But the fact that he
is not alone, she might also have certain enhancements, right?
Yeah, but Ian, the fact that he can knock everybody out too, I don't know that made sense to me, that they could, I mean, it was cool, but that they could just knock everybody out so easily was a little.
That's on every TV show. On every TV show, it's possible that a single punch to the head will knock you out.
True. But anyway, they have a fight and they get away. And
so I thought of AJ when I watched this scene, because they're fighting. And did you see when Garnet and Ian turn back to back so they can turn face their attackers, right? And remember last week, AJ?
It made sense for this scene.
Yes.
Last week did not make sense last week.
Do you remember that, Jamie, when AJ was like, why are they doing that? They need to run.
Yeah, it definitely did not make sense last week. And this is where they're like, it's gone. That must be on the planet. There's a whole thing with them fighting because she's like, I told you not to do that and you followed him anyway and you didn't do what I said. And
she's right. Her boyfriend's an overbearing jerk.
She is, and she walks out. And then we have this scene with the sheriff and this woman that I
Mayor.
Yes. Okay. And they basically are saying that he's saying that he tried to get Felix to quit searching, and if they're where he says something like, if they're where we think they are, we may have more problems than we thought, or something to that effect. Look, I know they want you.
Wait, also, this is supposed to be a big revelation that these two are sleeping together, right?
Yeah, I guess.
That's why wasn't a revelation to me. I thought it was kind of obvious last week when she suggested him sheriff.
But I also just didn't really care they were sleeping together. It doesn't to me really matter because they're both like on.
Well, no, I mean, come on. It's going to be this whole thing, and that's why he's got to be Kabir's ex, and
the thing is ow! Sorry, she bit my finger. They have sharp little teeth. I was trying to stop her from biting my shirt, and she went at my finger. So they say that like if they're where they think they are, they're going to have a worse problem. I mean, look, they want you to think like they're some evil. I tend to think that they just know whoever captured them, not necessarily that they're bad, more just like that they're not wanting to. Like, I kind of wondered if there's like another group of people over there or something, and like they've agreed to like, like with Alpha, how like they agreed they were going to stay in like separate areas. It almost felt to me something like that, where they're like, well, if they're over there, we got problems, but like they can't, like they won't do anything about it. Not necessarily that they're causing whatever happened to Angus and.
Well, no, I think it's a situation of they know there's other humanoids on this planet, and they made some kind of agreement. You stay on your side, we stay on our side. Only the new people don't know about it, and they ventured out to the car, and they're pissed off, and that's why they captured them. And
okay, but here's the thing. And so Kelly says, I've never trusted her, and I agree. She's right. She's always been sketchy. If there is another population of whatever, humans, aliens, whatever, they're not aliens, people that already were on this planet, is this something where like, how like Columbus and the white people come from Western Europe, and the Native Americans are like, oh, we live here, and they're like, too bad, we're killing you, it's our place now. These like the arcs have come, and they're like, oh, we live here now, but maybe the people who live there are not down with that. Like maybe there are people there who are like, this is our planet, what the hell, right?
That's kind of what I'm saying.
But if there's some sort, like, why would Bess, the governor, the mayor, whatever she is, why would you not tell the new people? If you have some sort of agreement, like stay within our perimeter, don't go out because the people who live here, right? Like, why are you keeping?
Well, that's the question.
Okay. I don't know. I just felt like in this scene, like they're trying to make us think that it's something more nefarious than it is. And it immediately felt to me like what I said, like more of like a territory thing. And I mean, it could not be. But that was what I felt. And it sounds like you guys felt that too. So there you go. All right. Well, like I said, they did continue it, which is a little surprising that it didn't end, but I guess we'll see, where it goes. And whether or not this clone thing is like a continual storyline or not, we might have a better idea, after the next episode.
Yeah.
All right.
All
right. You guys have Star Trek and House of the Dragon. Yes. I am going to hide myself for a bit, and I will join you guys at the end.
All right, AJ, what do you want to take? Star Trek first? Bang it out.
Bang out Star Trek.
All right. This episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds is called, the title is Best Human Friend. And it is basically about our people taking short. What do you say about nothing? Tell me how you really feel, AJ.
The best part of the entire episode was the end of the episode when it turned out that Spock was actually with Kirk the whole time.
Yeah, I did not love this episode.
I did not either.
I thought the writing was haphazard and the storyline was, I feel like somebody was like, let's do a storyline where everybody's like high on drugs the entire time and they act cuckoo. And so there was a lot of light moments and a lot of humor in this episode, but the story was not real coherent to me.
No.
Right? And they hang it on this very thin skeleton of Ortegas versus Scotty, which they've been trying to build up a little bit as a tension. And then it becomes a little bit of a buddy comedy kind of, right? And it like, I don't know, this one the story did not come together for me.
Yeah, no, it was kind of just it was kind of fun seeing them all act in a way they normally wouldn't, but I don't know. I don't know. What'd you think of Anson Mount with a face tattoo?
Well, I gotta start that, but he says getting drunk off the air and two people who don't get along finding their kumbaya moment. Yeah. Certainly this is a highlight of the episode. And right? Look at that. And I have said before, I think we talked about this last year, that one of the things I enjoy about the show is that Anson Mount is game for almost anything. And he, he's the captain of the ship. He often takes a side, like he's a side role in this, right? Like he's not a main character in this storyline. It's Scotty and Ortegas throughout the entire story, doing their thing, having their story. And Anson Mount, first on the call sheet, has several scenes where he is playing they're all comedic scenes that he has, right?
The entire episode's comedic.
Yeah, and he has no serious scenes. And so like that tattoo is awesome, by the way.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I was so glad they gave us a shot where you could really see the horse in this thing. And then he's got the face tattoo also. That was awesome. And his hair is awesome in this also, right? The hair is perfect.
When the episode started and you see Dave Foley playing this ridiculous character, I was like, ooh, Dave Foley, this should be a good episode.
Oh, you mean Dave Foley played the director guy?
Yeah.
Whose name I can't remember that character's name, but
yeah, whatever the head of the
the cruise director of the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't remember them even giving the character a name, honestly.
A name, but he was barely in it, right?
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I thought it was going to be some kind of fun, and then it was it felt very disjointed.
I originally, at the beginning of the episode, I thought this character might be more like a Q type character, and I don't mean in the sense that Q has the powers of basically a god and can do anything.
Right. Like that. Expect him to be more like a trickster type thing.
Yeah, a trickster and a manipulator, and trying to put them through something maybe for his own entertainment. And he ends up not really having a coherent role in this.
No.
I mean, look, I loved. Here's Uhura at her rave in her hotel room or whatever, and she has multiple like kind of funny scenes where she's talking to Scotty and Ortegas, right? And we have a tremendous scene of Una singing Klingon power ballads, which include, is she singing Total Eclipse of the Heart?
Total Eclipse of the Heart, yeah.
In Klingon.
That must, I gotta say, I give Rebecca Romaine lots of props for that. That must have been something quite fun to learn in Klingon.
And she has a good voice. I had forgotten that we had an entire
musical episode. Yeah,
we had an entire musical episode last season, and almost everyone on this show can sing, right? And she was great. It was entertaining, but she has no real story, right? And we have a little bit of like bingo crazed Chapel.
That was pretty funny.
It was. But also, like, I feel like everybody in the show is just, they're all, look, it's a big cast. Not everybody can, like, be at the front of everything. We also had the doctor playing, like, the bartender, which was very...
He was playing cocktails and not very well.
Yeah. But it all doesn't really boil down to any kind of storyline. And the story of these two... So let me ask you guys a question, and I've got a couple comments in the chat that we'll come back to, but to me, I never understood why Ortega seemed to be unaffected by the atmosphere. And then it turns out that she was earlier drunk on the atmosphere, but now she's not anymore. And like, did I miss something?
I wondered that too, why she was no longer, I felt like I couldn't understand why she was playing the straight man when everybody else was, and even Scotty to a degree. I mean, Scotty was kind of woozy, but not as bad.
Yeah, it might have made more sense to me if it was a non-human character who was just not affected. But Ortegas is human, Scotty's human. If it was somebody like, almost everybody's human who was on the planet except for Una is the only non-human who went down, right?
And
Elan. And Spock. And
Spock, yeah.
Yeah. Although Spock's half human, but we didn't have any
and everybody looked like a plant to him.
Yeah, which was kind of funny. I mean, I do think
he's like, I gotta say the Spock stuff was great. Like when they first go to see Spock, and he's like, "I'm very sorry, I am freaking out right now," and they're like, "You're acting the way you always act," and he's like, "No, I'm."
He said once or twice. He goes, "In my obviously inebriated condition."
Yeah,
you seem really normal, right? B says, "I agree. Jim being there was really the best part. It was kind of great that you think he's I think he was a hallucination earlier in the episode.
No, right? He was there the whole. That's the whole. He says in this scene here.
Oh, right. He's
like, I'm so glad I ran into you. You know.
Yeah.
And Spock's like, "But I told you so much," and Kirk's like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna be better friends for it." And we know where it leads to.
Well, yeah, I like that, and I think that this show is under. I don't want to say under pressure. But the show needs to get this moving. This show is laying the groundwork for what we will see or what we did see in the 60s on the original series, right? And so they're setting that up. They're laying that groundwork, showing us how these two became best friends. How do you like the part where it turns out that, when Spock thought he was hallucinating, he told Jim all his deepest, darkest secrets? Which is a real fast way of making them understand each other.
Yeah.
So they get all that together. I did like that. I mean, I have noticed that Jim is on more and more, right? He's on this show more and more often.
Yeah. He's on the show. Wait, I've given up thinking that they're playing flat. They started out playing fast and loose with history, and I've completely given up even caring because at this point it's an alternate universe.
Basically, yeah.
Because I mean, you think about the menagerie. Kirk had no idea who Pike was, other than he was Spock's first captain.
Oh yeah, that's right. In the menagerie, he doesn't know him at all. He's a stranger, and in this, they would be really well known to each other and friendly, if not like really good friends.
Yep.
So there's an undercurrent of this story where they're going to negotiate a peace deal with some. I can't remember the name of these people, where they're from, whatever.
Honestly, I never caught their name at all because it was kind of like an afterthought to the entire point of the episode, but then kind of at the end became the point of the episode.
Right. They were on their way to negotiate some kind of peace deal with these people. They take a detour for R&R. And then it's never clear to me who sent the note saying, like, come early. Let's have this meeting early, and why they would do that, except that they were like the
Pike
atmosphere.
Because he says to Pike, he's like, we were surprised when you moved up the.
Oh, yeah. Because the planet's atmosphere is basically Molly, right? And they're all like happy and whatever. And these people show up, and then everyone is like super high and out of their minds when they're having this meeting. And then there's some crazy shit where there's a bomb in the shuttle.
Yes.
Which made no sense. Like, it's explained in a final sentence, like, oh, it was a radical person who's anti-peace, and they put it here to try to blow those people up. And it, like, I get it that they were trying to put Scotty and Ortegas in a tense situation to bond them. I didn't really love this, like, whole thing where last episode suddenly Scotty and Ortegas are at odds and irritated with each other, and then this episode they have to find a way to become friends. I mean, I get it, but it all happened kind of fast and was pretty manipulated and it all felt really forced, right?
Yeah, I feel like there isn't, I don't know. I feel like Strange New Worlds has changed its trajectory these last two seasons.
I agree.
Where it's like season 1 was amazing. And season 2 is kind of, season 2 was really good, and then season 3 they kind of like started this whole like more of a monster of the week type episode stuff, which is fine, but they kind of lost that overarching storytelling type thing that they were doing. Actually, remember last season started amazing because it was the second half of the finale last season too. And I don't know, I just feel like I feel like this is something with these two that should have lasted a couple episodes at least.
Right? Like half the season.
This episode should have taken place maybe in the second half of the season. You know, let the tension between these two really heat up to, you know, the point where they're ready to kill each other.
So that it makes sense that we need it to be resolved, that we feel it and we see it and we're like, something's got to happen, right? But they were like, for 1 week, she's like, she's so annoying. She's so annoying. He's on my back, whatever. And then they like become BFF in this one, not BFF, but they like air their differences and become friends in this one thing. I would like to point out in this scene that Scotty's thumb is blown off. Can you see it there?
It's not blown off. It's hanging still. It's not completely off. That was funny.
So you know how every week I'm like, oh, Paramount gave us a lot of pictures. HBO gives us no pictures, blah, blah, blah. Look what Paramount gave us in the dump this week. They gave us a super close-up of the broken off thumb hanging there, which was kind of awesome. It was kind of fun how that, and I just say it's fun, but, you know, after the bomb goes off and they get beamed aboard. I mean, it just was so, this episode was so scattered and so rushed and so forced, I felt, right? Doesn't mean I don't like this show. It doesn't mean oh my God, B says I never noticed that. OMG. I know, it was a quick blink and you look away and you see his thumb like totally hanging by a thread. But I just thought it felt rushed and didn't make sense. And when AJ, you say it's changed, I think it has gotten away from the boldly go kind of business, right?
Yeah.
Like, I like that this show plays with genre. Like, I liked last week's Haunted Ship episode, and
I love that episode. I thought that, but it's in the confines of the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
like, I feel like the show has gotten away from the seriousness.
Yeah.
And too far away from it.
Look, and I liked when they tried a musical episode, and I liked when they tried like a fairy tale kind of episode, and like I liked, and they used to do it like 1 or 2 times a season, and
right.
This episode is not. And I actually kind of liked what they did with Marie last season, where she was like, Marie, like what happened?
That stuff was really good.
It was building, right? But this was just a little. It almost makes you wonder if they aired this out of order. Could they have shot this to air?
I thought about that, but I don't think Paramount generally does that.
Well, I'm sorry to say that it's not a.
And they couldn't have, because if they're fighting again next week, then
that would be dumb, right?
That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah. So not a favorite episode. I don't know if you have more to. There's not really a lot to talk about because there just wasn't.
No, that's pretty much
on, right?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, so now we'll go to the big episode of the week, which is the season finale of House of the Dragon.
So you got your battle, Karen. How'd you feel about it?
I thought it was a pretty good battle. I'm sorry that HBO did not give us a lot of good shots of like crowds of soldiers being like burned alive by dragons and shit like that, right? I thought they gave us a pretty well shot battle. The scenes of soldiers like out on the fields were good. The scenes in Tumbledon were pretty good. I thought it made the way this battle played out made sense to me in terms of how Ormond Tully, is his last name Ormond? Yeah. No, not Tully. He's a high tower. How he would behave, how Damon would. I thought that was good. And like there was so much like character stuff happening also. I thought it was a pretty good. Do I have a couple of things that I wish would have advanced a little bit, maybe, but I'm pretty satisfied with it. What did you think as a book reader?
I thought it was a really good finale. And I had kind of, it was about halfway through the season. I figured, all right, it's got to end. The season's probably going to end with the battle in Tumbledon, and it kind of got me excited for next season because season 4 is going to blow the roof off because there's like 3 iconic moments that have to happen in season 4.
And season 4 is the final season?
Final season, yes.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I feel like this, I was really happy with this episode and everything about it. And it's just, now I have to wait 2 years for,
Maybe a year if we're lucky.
It's been 2 years between each season.
Has it been 2 years between each? So what part of this show would you like to? I know what I'd like to talk about first. What would you like to talk about first?
Whatever your heart desires.
Well, let's talk about the goings on at Harrenhal for starters, because I think that is a good, we can kind of, it happens early in the episode. We can kind of bang that out. And I've got like a whole shit ton of photos here that I'm not even really sure, but, and I immediately, watching this epised, I was like, oh my God, here's Ewan Mitchell again with no shirt on, because he never has a shirt on in the show. But I'd love to talk about Harrenhal first and how he's, early in the episode, he's having a dream. And it's hard for me to actually, it's not hard for me. They've shown it on the screen, but he actually feels guilty about trying to kill his brother. Right? And I'm not.
So it seems.
So it seems, right? I'm not sure what that's being driven by. Like, it's because his mother showed up. Like, he hasn't really felt guilty about that. And it was only later in the episode when Aegon shows up and talks to his brother that I remember that Aegon, while for a long time, Aemond, who we see on the right here, has seemed like the more powerful brother, he actually was always tormented by his older brother, Aegon, right? Like, part of Aemon's, like, horrible personality is about being bullied by his brother, right? Am I wrong about that?
Well, to a degree, yeah. There was the brotherly stuff and everything. But Aemond has always been a piece of shit, even as a kid. That's how he lost his eye,
because he was tormenting Rhaenyra's children when that happened, right?
Yeah. He made that the comment about them being bastards and all hell broke loose, and that's how he accidentally lost his eye.
Yeah. He's and of course, like, they're all the product of incest, and that makes them, like, maybe messed up, right? Not maybe.
Well, the entire lineage is technically incest.
They're very inbred, all of them. But we open up with him at Harrenhal, and he's having horrible dreams and whatever, and there's a whole conversation with Alice also. Does this happen before Aegon shows up or after Aegon shows up? The whole Alice thing was really amazing to me also, like, where she basically tells Aegon her history and like what her deal is, right? So
yeah, what'd you think about that, to find out that she's actually Lady Heron and been alive for hundreds of years?
So I was a little bit not really spoiled. I know I had read that in the book, she's a person who is older than she appears. There are rumors that she has, I don't know, I don't want to say bathed in the blood of virgins, but done something like that, right? Done something like that to, like, preserve her youth. But I haven't read the book, but I feel like it's not that extreme. But she looks kind of young, and she maybe is kind of, but I don't know. But I think that this is a little more extreme than the book, where Alice is like, oh, I was the Lady of Harrenhal, and this shit happened with my son. He was burned by a dragon, And in order to save him, I embraced the dark arts, basically, is what she's saying, right? And I lived in the woods, and I embraced all this dark magic, and I was cursed, and now I'm 100 years old, right? And that's basically her story, and that I think basically is not 100% book, right?
No, they definitely fleshed her out some more in the show, which I like. It was a lot more vague in the book.
Yeah.
No, Kelly. No, hold on. Kelly says, so she has to stay by Harrenhal or she will die because she is so old. No.
That's what I took from it. I took from it that she's cursed and she can't leave Harrenhal.
She's cursed that she lives forever. It's more than that because her home was taken from her. And, like she said, she's had this one and that one and, all these people that come through Harrenhal and they don't give two shits about Harrenhal. She's like,
okay, but
she wants to bring Harrenhal back to the glory of when she, was the lady of that.
All right, but she left Harrenhal and went into the woods to do dark magic and save her son, her little boy, right?
Yes.
Which we couldn't. So she left there, and can I really blame these guys for not recognizing her as the Lady of Harrenhal? No, right?
No, I'm not saying they should, but I'm just saying that that's her goal. That's her ultimate goal. That's why she's latched on to, Aegon or Aemond, you know.
And women can't inherit really these places rarely anyway, right? So they sons. I'm sorry, but I agree with Kelly that I thought that that her curse was that she couldn't leave Harrenhal.
Yeah, she's not bound by it.
Or stay in the general area of Harrenhal. I don't know. Not probably because of the curse, probably because of her son, because she's so old. So Aemond is like, wait, that was 100 years ago. And
she's like, I look good for my age, don't I?
Yeah, she's like, and he's like, yeah, whatever, fine. He accepts it because I guess people in this universe accept witchcraft, accept magic, accept stuff. And he's like, okay,
there are dragons. All right.
Yeah. And so then they smooch. I don't have a picture, but they smooch and they're going to be together. And actually, this shot of Aemond holding his hand up is after he wakes up and goes wandering around, and he finds his brother Aegon hanging out in Harrenhal, right? He's shown up with Sunfire.
They crash through the ceiling.
They crash.
I love how dragons just show up and just demolish a part of Harrenhal.
They're very destructive. It's kind of like the Hulk showing up at your house, right?
Right.
The Hulk shows up and that's it. Your house is destroyed and we're here. And so they roll in. Am I looking at the right? Is this the picture of him with? Hang on. These pictures are so little. He shows up with Sunfire. And I was kind of really surprised at the part where Aemond immediately falls to his knees in front of Aegon, right? Immediately. I think that's because he thought he was looking at a ghost or because he's so racked with guilt. Both of those are hard for me to reconcile with the asshole Aemond last season.
Or because he has a dragon standing behind him.
Well, yeah, there's that also. I mean,
it just goes to show what, the whole point of what a lot of people have been saying this season is how much power. I mean, even, Ormond is an idiot and all he did was get a lot of people killed. But, he says over and over, he says over and over, who are these people without their dragons? And Aegon proves that point completely. Aegon has been this simpering twit for the last couple weeks. He gets his dragon back, and all of a sudden he's got a set of brass balls on him.
Yeah.
To where he's authoritative when talking to his brother. You know what I mean?
Yes, and I did enjoy the scene where he's like, I'm the king, I'm back, I'll never forgive you, you tried to kill me. And Aemond is kind of cowering in front of him. And is he cowering? But he's on his knees, and he's definitely I wish you'd forgive me. He's very guilty. But you're right. Aegon, would he ever have done this if his dragon hadn't shown up?
No,
and come out
not at all. He'd have no. Well, he'd probably be dead if his dragon didn't show up.
And he's basically like, I'm going to be the king. I'm going to attack Rhaenyra. You're going to follow me with your dragon, and then maybe I'll let you live when it's all over, right? And Aemond, I don't know. Like, there's a lot going on with these two because this is not. Oh, hit it. Hit all the
comment. Because of Karen's comment about the Hulk, B says, now I can't stop thinking dragon smash.
They are like the Hulk.
Scrooge carries smash.
Smash, dragon smash. I just feel like this is a very different Aemond than when we saw who burned his brother alive last season, right? Like who was now he's feeling very guilty. And like, I don't know where this is coming from because I feel like these are not emotions that Alice Rivers wants to see in Aemond, right? Like she hitched her wagon to a Targaryen who she thought could maybe bring her what she wanted. And now here comes his brother who's like basically just yelling at him. He's like, okay, sorry, brother. Blah. You know, this is a different.
Aemond has had some since Vhagar left, Aemond's had some time to reflect.
Well, and when your mother tries to kill you, you maybe have to rethink your life, right? Like in the beginning of the episode, he wakes up and he's like, my mother poisoned me. She tried to kill me. And I guess that's the thing you got to come to terms with. Like, your own mother who you had a sex dream about.
How bad am I that my mother tried to poison me?
Well, maybe you shouldn't have sex dreams about her, but yeah, his mother tried to poison him. He's not aware, but these people are messed up, and I'm not even really sure what's going on with these two. I liked it. I love some complex Targaryens. And I don't believe that Aegon will have the upper hand for that long. I just don't think that Aemond is going to be this cowering person for the rest of the show, right? There's no way. So
he's not going to have a choice if Vhagar doesn't come back and get him.
Well, Vhagar took off, right? Vhagar took off, which is kind of like we've seen a lot of dragons that have a pretty close connection to their person. So why Vhagar has gone off by himself is a question to me. Do you know why? I mean, can you explain that in a way, a non-spoiling kind of way?
Absolutely, because it doesn't happen in the book.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, from what I've seen on the screening, I think it's just the fact that after Aegon was injured and out of it, we don't even know how long Aegon was out of it. We don't know how long it took.
You mean Aemond, not Aegon. You mean Aemond. Yeah.
Slip of the tongue with their fucking names. Aemond was out of commission for a minute, and we don't know for how long. So Vhagar could have just been like, all right, I'm just going to get a snack. And then was just like, while I'm out, and just decided, you know what, I'm just going to fly around. And when my master is finally, back to,
Yeah, my master's laying around in bed and can't get up and ride at all. So I might as well go out.
When he's worthy again, I'll come back and get him, is what I'm thinking is going to happen. I mean, because it's interesting because Sunfire was the one doing the healing, and then as soon as he was able, he found Aegon. So it's kind of an opposite thing here.
Oh yeah, like when Sunfire started to get himself a little bit together, he found Aegon, because Aegon was just like, okay, I'm ready, I'm defeated, let's go sail in a boat to Pentos, and I'll be whatever. And then he gets his dragon. I mean, he really. You're right that this episode seems to really there's a minute where you want to be like, yeah, Aegon, and then you're like, wait, you're a total loser until you right.
No, I've never been yay Aegon.
But these guys are nothing without their dragon, and that might bring us to a person like I don't know if we want to go right to Daemon, but Daemon is another guy who's his big ball stemmed from being able to ride his dragon, right? God, I hate these pictures because they make it look so bad. But maybe we should go to that. Maybe we should talk about the events in King's Landing first. Let's go back to King's Landing before we take on the battle, because that's the biggest part of our conversation, right? So let's talk about King's Landing, the things that happen in the castle at King's Landing. And let me get a picture of our friend, Queen Rhaenyra. So what's going on in King's Landing this week? I mean, Rhaenyra, man, I've had all these pictures of Rhaenyra being like, my life is terrible. Like every week I show you guys, like, I have the same pic. Where is this picture? Every week I go to this picture where she's like, my job sucks so much. Being the queen is the worst possible thing, right? And then this week she's all like, all right, like, let me get my shit together. And I'm going to go demand, wrong picture. Let me go demand that I'm going to be made the queen here. I think it's Daemon that puts her up to it, right?
I don't know how much influence Daemon had as much as I feel like she's just like, I am tired of this shit. Well, it starts with because Aegon's alive. Because she knows Aegon's alive, he's out there running Sunfire. She's got to act now. But
and she's like crying. She's crying. She's like, hey man, I'm crying. What should I do? He's alive, right?
Yeah. I think a lot of it. I think she finally got to a breaking point, which I think is a good thing because she's been so kind of, this is the worst job ever. I think she kind of needed something to kick her in the ass and be like, you know what, enough's enough. I'm tired of this shit, because nobody, from what we've seen, nobody, she's the queen, and people listen to her, but nobody, I don't think anybody really respects her.
No, they listen to her because she's got 6 dragons, right? They don't listen to her because they respect her or love her.
That's what I'm saying. Even Baela.
Oh, yeah.
That conversation with Baela, and Baela, I think Baela's kind of sick of it too, and she's like, I think even Baela would have been like, you know what, I'm surprised she didn't say, you know what, and if you need to kill me because I just spoke to my queen that way, then do it.
Yeah, because Baela says, like, if people are useful, then you are nice to them, and when we're not useful anymore, you forget about us, right? And she's not really wrong about that, but
wrong, but she's not completely right either.
I mean, that's part of being the queen and running the realm and having to do that shit. But she also is like, I'm sorry, Baela, did she really throw you away when you're not useful? Like, she didn't kill your sister. She hasn't killed all these, like, high tower heirs. She hasn't killed Alicent. She hasn't killed Helena. Right? Like, she's not really.
And Baela has to understand part of the reason she's treating Baela the way she is because she holds Baela somewhat responsible for what happened with Jace, because she wrote off.
Because she is.
And that's, it's funny. You don't think of it's so far removed right now, but you basically, Baela basically committed treason when she left with Jace. They locked the queen in her bedroom.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did. Right. So they could sneak
Jace
out.
Did, yeah.
Yeah, because remembering that they're like 16 years old, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, we are so cool with our dragons and we're going to go like be part of this battle, but we got to lock your mom up so we can escape. It was very kind of soap opera thing they did.
Yeah.
All right. So I get why Rhaenyra's like, I'm done with this bullshit. Let me go. But how do you feel about what she does here? She puts on this very kind of military outfit, right?
Well, she's going to get she wants to go get ordained. And
I know, but
the Septon ain't having it.
She wants the High Septon to anoint her, but she goes in like full military whatever to the High Septon, and she basically demands that he should anoint her.
Yep.
This is one of the points in the episode that I really had Game of Thrones vibes, Cersei vibes. Like, I really, when I was watching this, I was like, oh, this is why Cersei never got it, right? I'm like, if only Cersei had studied the previous kings and queens before her, could she have avoided this? Because it made me think of when Cersei like burns, when the whole place burns up, right? Blows up. I mean, this guy's a jerk, but he.
You know what I was kind of expecting in this scene?
He's overconfident, right?
Yes. I was kind of expecting her to kill him and be like, so who wants to
anoint me?
Who wants to anoint me? But no, they just killed them all.
I kind of thought that also, that she might kill. I agree with you, AJ, that she'd kill him and be like, who wants to be the High Septon next and anoint me, and has one in her pocket, but they kill them all. And that's really what made me think like about when Cersei went against the religion and against the seven, how things started to go bad for her. And I was like, oh, I know that the Targaryens don't really believe in the seven gods.
Yeah, the seven.
But Rhaenyra has her husband Matt Damon. She has her husband Damon in her ear saying like, we're High Valyrian, we're Targaryen, we're from old Valyria, we are God. He really says like, we are gods, right? We don't answer those gods. We have different gods. We are gods. And I think she should not have fallen for that in this episode. I don't know. What do you think? I think she made a mistake. So in the end, I think that killing the High Septon is probably a mistake. And going against the local religion is probably a mistake. I mean, I don't know why. I think it because we've seen it before, but we saw it 100 years later. So I shouldn't take that as a precedent because it didn't happen yet. You know what I mean? Like, I saw it be a bad idea when Cersei did it, but that's a century from now in this show. So it's not a precedent, but it's a through line a little bit, I guess, right? Did I lose you or did you lose me? Hello? Jamie, who's missing here? Me or AJ? Who can hear us?
Sorry, I can hear you. What? Are you done? Or are you just trying to get AJ?
AJ seems to be missing. I was talking and AJ's gone.
Okay,
AJ's
sorry. I just heard you call me.
I just heard you call me.
Yeah, he must have gone.
All right, well, I'll just move on to the next part of the show then. And I'm going to talk about what happens in Old Town, which I don't have a ton of great photos of it. But down in Old Town, we have the sea snake is trapped in Old Town, we've seen him as being a prisoner. And, our terrible, terrible Lord, where's my Lord, what's his name? AJ's back. Hi, AJ. Get yourself on the screen here. Can we put him can we get him to the stage? There you are. We lost you.
All right. You lost me. I had technical difficulties. I accidentally knocked my power cord out of my laptop.
Hate that.
2 seconds later, the computer went, goodbye. Yeah, I gotta get a new battery for my laptop because it doesn't work anymore.
All right. Well, that's okay because we're moving on. Unless we got some comments here from our gang, but I think they're mostly MDB. We're moving on to Tumbledon. Things that go crazy. I mean, we get to the Battle of Tumbledon. So much is like so wrong about what happens in this battle. And so much that's wrong is about Ormond Hightower, who, he's a terrible, terrible person, right? Which we've known.
Yeah. Well, he's like all these other highborns. They all think that they're right and their way is the only way.
Yeah, but he does things like he conscripts all these little children and makes little children stand on the battlements and in front of the gate so that, like, if Daemon and Rhaenyra want to come and fight this battle, they got to kill little children. And we see children crying. We see children vomiting in fear. Like, it's really kind of an upsetting thing to see, I think, right? And Ormond Hightower thinks this is this guy is like, when you thought he couldn't be worse, now he's even more worse in this episode.
Yeah, even Daemon when the children come out in front of the gate, the gate, he's like, "Move!" Like this guy's sending these kids to their death, and Damon's like, "Oh my God, he wants me to kill children." Like, no.
Yeah, and Damon's under commands from Rhaenyra to minimize civilian casualties, but I think Damon himself, like, Damon has a lot of faults, but he doesn't want to kill a bunch of little kids, right?
Right, exactly.
He's not like
even Damon is like, even Damon's like, really, children, come on.
Yeah, it's really horrible and disgusting thing. A whole bunch of shit happened. What is your favorite part of what happened in the Battle of Tumbledon? Like, so many things happen in this story. Like, what's your favorite part? Is it?
I think, you know what? No, I know it's Ulf, actually. You know, not only does he turn on everybody, I love the fact that Ulf is like so fed up with everybody treating him like a piece of shit because, well, let's be honest, Ulf is a piece of shit. But I love when he turns the dragon towards Tumbledon and he's like, "And fuck you too," and then burns Ormond.
Yeah, I mean, I like that part, but I'm not sure that I really thought he would. I'm trying to find a photo of him. Here's Ulf. I mean, Ulf turns against Rhaenyra, which we saw last episode, right? For reasons that are really about money and recognition, I think, right?
Yep.
But is Ormond ever going to give to him? But in the end, what happens is that he's drunk and passed out, literally, like in the outhouse on the shitter, right?
Yep.
I mean, I love that Ormond put his faith in this guy. Ormond, who is he's such a snob. He's so like, I'm a high tower, I'm a lord, I'm highborn, I'm this and that. And like, you people are like losers, right? And he signs on with Ulf, and then Ulf in the end just gets drunk. I love that he just gets drunk. He's not available for the battle because he's drunk. And Ormond like says shit to him like, "You loser, you lowborn piece of shit,"
and beats the shit out of him in front of everybody, like he was criticizing Daemon for doing.
Right, which is exactly why Ulf turns on him in the end, right?
Yes.
Like Ulf,
yes.
I mean, Ulf really wants respect, which he doesn't deserve. I'm not saying he deserves it, but he wants a level of respect that he thinks that riding a dragon should give him. He hasn't earned it. He doesn't, but that's really what turns him in the end, right? I think.
Yeah.
He's a gigantic. He's a horrible, unlikable character.
He's in there. I've said it before. There are a lot of man babies in this show.
Well, and you know what? I'm sorry, Rhaenyra, but this is what happens when you scour the countryside for any random like Targaryen bastard who can ride a dragon, right? Like, she didn't vet them very hard. She's like, "Can you ride a dragon? Will you serve me? Fine." And then
her vetting process was the dragon didn't kill you.
Yeah. And then when this guy's like, "I'm a giant baby, I need to get paid off," she's like, "Whatever. You should be honored to ride a dragon." Like, she doesn't like. She's so not in touch with the little people, which is a big part of this show, I guess, right? But it's very different from the way like other people react to riding a dragon. Like, we also have oh my God, poor this guy's name is not Ulf, Sir Hugh the what, right?
Hugh the Hammer.
Hugh the Hammer. He defies Rhaenyra and brings his dragon to Tumbledon because he wants to find his wife, Kat.
Yes.
Is this from the book or no?
No.
So, were you surprised that he finds her dead?
No, I wasn't surprised that he found her dead.
I was not either. I mean, that was set from last week when she kind of rejected him. She's like, "What? What?" He's like, "I have a dragon. I'm going to get some money, whatever." She's like, "What? I'm not going there. I'm living here in this town. What are you talking about?" Right? She's like, "I'm staying here with my brother." and then she dies. I wasn't surprised. The question is, to me, now that he's lost Kat, would he also turn against Rhaenyra next year? I don't know.
Well, it wasn't Rhaenyra's fault that Kat died. It was Ulf.
No, but these men need to blame someone, and Rhaenyra seems to get blamed for everything except for when Alicent gets blamed. Right?
When all else fails, blame the women.
Yeah, I think so. This was pretty sad. I mean, he's been trying to, but he did Daemon was like, "Why is he here? Isn't he supposed to be like saving with Rhaenyra? Not with Rhaenyra, but
he's supposed to be guarding the dragon pit."
Yeah, right. That was his. And now here he is, like hanging around here. Well, he's on a personal mission, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Which I get. Because I see. My thing is, I feel like he should have been like, "Hey, my wife's in Tumbledon. Like we need, something."
He should have been more honest with both Rhaenyra and Daemon from the jump, right?
Right.
Because they would have been like, "Fine, bring your wife to King's Landing. Set her up here in the castle. She'll be fine. Whatever," right?
Yeah.
And instead he's like, "Guess what? I'm going to make my fortune." And his wife's like, "Whatever. Are you kidding me?" Like I get that for sure. All right. So I guess we're moving closer and closer to the battle now. So Fasho points out that Daemon has killed kids before, though. I mean, yeah, I guess Daemon's not a...
What kids did he kill?
We talked earlier about how Daemon doesn't want to burn a bunch of kids on the...
But when did Daemon kill kids? I'm trying to remember.
I mean, I'm willing to buy that Daemon has killed kids before. Daemon is...
Have we seen him do it? Because there's a difference between believing he could and seeing him do it.
Okay, it's possible I don't remember it, but in this situation, Rhaenyra has told him that you need to minimize the damage when you go out there.
She says, "Don't make me a monster."
Yeah. And so killing children would make her a monster for sure, right?
Definitely.
I mean, she wants him, and it's against Daemon's most basic instinct is to just kill everyone who's around. So, I mean, this brings us, I guess, getting to the battle, which is the highlight of the episode. I love this battle scene. I love the field. I love Tumbleton. I loved also this amazing part where Daemon has made like a kind of, he's got all these Northmen working for him, right? I love those guys. I've got a great picture if I can find the guy. Here he is. Woo! Love this guy, right?
Yes.
What's that guy's name? Do you know his name? I can't remember his name right now.
Give me a minute. It'll come to me.
The Northmen are incredible in this episode, and they're such incredible fighters. They go to Tumbleton. I love this whole part of it. And I was waiting, like we knew that they had a dragon in their back pocket, and we're waiting for that dragon. It doesn't happen. Where is Ulf, the dragon rider? Where is he? We all know he's drunk, passed out somewhere.
You know what I loved is everybody's looking for Ulf because everybody thinks Ulf's on their side.
Because Daemon's looking for Ulf also, right? Everyone, Daemon thinks Ulf is on his side, and Ormond thinks Ulf is on his side. And everyone's looking around for him, and no one can actually find the dude because we all know he's passed out. And no one's like, where's this guy's picture? I can't find. Here he is. I love that book. Like no one realized he turned. And then he turns. He doesn't actually even like. There was one where it's like, is he a double agent? And then no, he just like burns everybody because he's pissed. I'm not sure where that goes next season because he betrayed Rhaenyra. He's betrayed both the Greens and the Blacks. So where does he go? Is he a rogue with a dragon? And what happens to him, right? I mean, I think certainly Damon wants to hunt him down with Caraxes, right?
Well, I mean, he wouldn't have to hunt very far. I mean, he's right. He's still right there. I mean, with it, how it ends, all Damon's got to do is jump on Caraxes and just go take him out.
Yeah.
But Kelly got his name. Roddy
is that guy's name. Thank you. Roddy of the North. And AJ, you might be right that Damon could hunt him down and kill him, because I'm not sure where Ulf's storyline goes from here, right? Like he's betrayed Rhaenyra, he's betrayed the Greens, he's betrayed the Blacks. Like what?
I mean, you know what? There is one other thing I could see happening. Possibly, I could see Hugh being the one to go after him, because ultimately Ulf is responsible for his wife's death.
Oh yeah, because he burned the town, right?
Yeah.
So could Ulf be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this"? I mean, yeah. That'd be kind of cool. All right, let's talk about our battle with the High Towers and what's happening here in Tumbleton, which was so great. And our poor little boy Darren. I think I have a picture here. Do I have the picture where early in the episode, Ormond knights Darren, right? He's like, yeah. Oh, I don't have a picture of it. Is this the picture of it? Yeah. So he's like, oh, you need to be knighted. This guy is so messed up, right? And
yeah,
this
can't be king if you're not a knight.
Is that a thing? I don't think it's a thing, actually, at all. Because when he knights him, he makes Darren swear to serve him, right? Which is crazy. I mean, I think that Darren is in a situation where he's, I mean, is it abusive? It's a very overbearing uncle for sure, right?
Yeah.
And this kid is being manipulated. How'd you feel about his scenes where he's like, I'm going to just fly my dragon and get myself killed because there's no win situation for me?
I think that's for him that I understand his thought process, because running isn't really an option. So I might as well go out in a blaze of glory. Right.
He's like, if I stay and I die, at least I didn't flee as a coward and die. Right. And he has said before, he said last week, he's like, I'll never be king. And he's correct about that. That kid will never be the king, right?
Yeah. Oh, and we almost forgot the little deal that Brynden tries to make before the battle begins.
Brynden
brings Corlys to Daemon.
Oh yeah, I've got a nice pic. Where's my friend Corlys? I got a picture of Corlys here somewhere. Here he is. Corlys is being held there as a prisoner. And they try to make a deal. So is that in the book? Is this whole thing with the sea snake being held here and all this that goes on, is that in the book? Not that I recall. All right.
If it is, I don't remember it. Because again, I thought 2 weeks ago, I thought they killed Corlys. So
I know. When I was like, they killed him. You're like, no, they killed him. We talked about that. He's still Rhaenyra's hand. Sort of. And he makes a big play here. And actually, I love what Corlys tries to do in Sue for Peace, but like going back to what's going back in I guess in King's Landing or in the rest of the battlefield or wherever, where his two sons I got a great picture of his two sons. Where are they? His sons are kind of at odds, and I'm not sure that do you think that, so look at these two boys. Alan is the older one in the armor, and Adam is the older one, right?
No, you were right the first time.
Alan is wearing the armor.
Alan is in the armor, and Adam is the dragon rider.
And there's a scene earlier in this episode where like people come and they're like, we need to talk to the sea snake is, they're all mad, and then he's like, I speak for the sea snake, I'm his firstborn son and his heir. And your future Lord of Driftmark or whatever, right?
Yes.
And in this particular shot where I have the photo, Adam, the dragon rider, Alan the dragon rider, says like, you have a lot of ambition, and he says, no, my only ambition is to like serve the queen. I'm wondering if this is going in a different direction where he actually does have a lot of ambition to take his father's place, and is that going to be a problem later? Not that I really believe that he would like go against his dad or kill him, but I think that this guy has more ambition than he lets on.
See, I saw it different. I see it that he's just trying to live up to his father.
Like it's more about honor, you think?
Yeah, like his like Corlys ain't there, so somebody's got to step in.
And Corlys has finally embraced him and been like, I want you to be legitimized. I want you to be my guy, whatever. Which is great. But meanwhile, Corlys is still being held prisoner out there in
by Daemon now.
Poor guy goes from one prisoner to the other. Daemon is a total dick to him, right?
Yeah. Real quick, something we didn't talk about when we were in King's Landing. What do you think about his men showing up to protect King's Landing?
Whose men? Driftmark men?
Yeah.
Yeah, the men. Well, and that's when they do come and you know, he's like, when this guy's like, I'm your master. I didn't really know that there were that many men of Driftmark left. I thought they had really pretty much been annihilated at the battle, and for them to show up,
yeah, it's pretty surprising when Ormond's soldiers killed them all when they captured Ormond, or when they captured Corlys.
Yeah, and yet then they show up right in this episode.
Right, they're not. It's not them. I don't think. I think they're high towered.
You think they're masquerading? Ooh, you think they're high towers? Interesting. I hadn't thought of that. Because Corlys's guys were all wiped out.
Yes.
And so his son may be falling into a trap with people around him who are not trustworthy. Interesting. Corlys is basically taken off the board for this battle in the end of this whole back. He's barely in this season, right? And definitely not the season. I feel like he's being like swept off the board, and his sons are taking. I don't even know how much Corlys will be involved next season. Like they could they just kill Corlys and have his sons like take over the story? I'm not saying I would like that, but I think Corlys is being kind of marginalized in the story lately. You know, first he was like, "Oh, I'm sick of hanging around with you, Rhaenyra. I'm gonna like go do my own thing." Then he gets kidnapped. Then he gets taken by Daemon. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen. I don't know that Rhaenyra would. I mean, he's been one of Rhaenyra's closest allies for the entire show, right? Like he's been 100% Team Rhaenyra from the beginning. I mean, except when he was team wife, right? His wife was trying to get.
Well, yeah.
What'd you think about his whole? Maybe we should skip this until we go back to the battle. But in the end, he's trying to sue for peace, right?
Yeah, which that didn't work out very well.
No, but it surprised me a little bit. Like that didn't seem to be his MO until right here at the end.
It wasn't a bad idea. What? Brendan's offer.
Yeah.
You just had to know that Daemon was never going to go for it, obviously.
Oh, of course, he never would. Daemon always wants to go for battle. He always wants to go for the kill. He always wants to go for violence. That's his whole thing, right? I mean, it was basically Sir Gawain's idea, right? Like, we had Corlys push it, but isn't Gawain behind it all?
Oh yeah, because when he was talking to Darren, he says, "I have an idea." Because when he found out Corlys was still there,
Gawain's whole day is like, "We're gonna die, and then he's like, "Oh, we can live." Like his whole thing is like, "How can we live?" And I don't mean that in a bad way. He's not like a weasel. He's like a guy that's like, "This is messed up. These people are nuts. How can I survive?"
Yeah. Pretty much. So on to the battle.
All right, on to the battle.
Damon busts down the door with a dragon.
Oh yeah, how'd you like that part?
That was really cool.
Right? That's pretty cool. I was a little disappointed that HBO did not give us a lot of dragon shots. They gave us many more in the past, but I love that when he's like burning it and then it's all burnt up and you see nothing and then the dragon head just pounced through it. That was amazing.
Who needs a battering ram when you have a dragon?
When you got a dragon. And I loved, like, this shot is part of where, like, Damon hops off the dragon and hops onto a horse, which is kind of great also, right? He's a very, like, I love that part. I didn't love the extended battle that he has with, what's that guy's name again?
I don't know what that was.
Right? Who was that guy? But he's having a big fight with his.
Yeah, I liked all the individual fighting scenes.
I liked it too,
They're
but
pretty good. I like Damon. I like the fight with Damon and that guy because Damon's not going to die, but there were times that it was like, holy crap, Damon might die, even though he's not going to die.
That guy had the advantage multiple times. Like, I thought he was going to put Damon's eye out at one point, right?
Yeah, I did too.
Because I could see Damon just going on and having one eye in the next season. And there were times when it seemed he was really better.
They couldn't do that. They couldn't do that because then Aemon would be like, hey, that's my thing.
That's my eye. Come on. Give him a sapphire eye. Yeah, I love the battle. I thought it was really tense. It went on for a long time, but it was never boring. It was never right. It was great. And there was this whole part where I love the parts of this where, like, Matt Smith, Damon is fighting his way through, but I loved Sir Gawain trying to, like, find a way to subvert it, get away, save himself, save his nephew. I like that Sir Gawain has become a better, like, remember when in, like, season 1 when he was just like Elson's brother and he was not that, he was like Kristen Cole's sidekick, and he's been kind of, I don't know. I like the way he's really come through for his family in this week, right? And saving his nephew.
Well, I mean, he's, they say, I mean, not in this world, but they say cooler heads prevail. He's not stupid, he's a cooler head,
He is the cooler head, yeah. And when he rides out to sue for peace with Damon, and he says, like, this is Darren's plan, I wasn't sure that Darren ever had any part of it, right? Like, he comes out and he's like King Darren.
Well, he can't say it's my plan. He has to.
Right. I agree with you, but I don't know that he ever talked about it with Darren at all, right?
It could have been off screen because he does say to Darren, I have an idea.
And that's
and
it.
And that's it. The next thing we see is him bringing Corlys out.
It's not a bad plan. Like, his plan is like, give us Old Town and you get everything else, right?
Yeah.
And the 7 kingdoms used to have 7 kings, and let's have 2 is basically what he's saying, right?
Yeah.
Do you think he believes it's a plan, or he just wants to live for one day more? One day more.
I think he was legitimately hoping that Damon was going to, at the very least, say, okay, we'll hold off the battle for another day. Let me talk with Rhaenyra. I think he was hoping that was going to be the case.
Yeah, he could sneak out. Well,
trying to treat with Damon
is a bad idea.
Right? It's never going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Sir Bullcut. Kelly Neos likes to call him Sir Bullcut. You mean, I think Sir Gawain.
The guy. No. Oh, Sir. Wait. Oh, you talk about
the other guy, Sir Bullcut.
I thought he was talking about the guy Damon was fighting with that we can't remember his name.
Oh, that guy, Sir Bullcut. Yeah. All right. So anyway, this battle goes on and on. I love the part of the battle where Sir Bulk. This is not Sir Bulk-up.
When Roddy killed or
this guy is amazing.
About to kill Ormond, and then Ulf actually kills him.
No, but I love when he's about to kill Ormond and Ormond chops his arm off.
Yeah,
and then Ormond
kept going.
No, but then Ormond vomits, right? Like,
Yeah.
I love how they've been setting up all season how Ormond is like, he can't take smells. He doesn't like blood. He doesn't like bad smells. He's always puking. He's always a baby. Not a baby. He's just disgusted. It's not nice. And then I love how it ends. It directly goes to his death in this scene because he, if I'm correct, he chops off Roddy's arm, right?
Yeah.
And Roddy continues to fight.
Roddy stabs him with his other hand.
Yeah, but it's because Ormond sees the blood like flowing out.
Yeah.
And Ormond starts to vomit, and that gives Roddy the upper hand to stab, and then he stabs right up the ass and says, "That's a proper northern fucking," right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Says right up the ass, kills him. I was never. There's not a guy I'll miss anymore. Like I was never. I won't miss him one bit, right?
You were never happier to see somebody die?
Thank you. Yes, I was never happier to see
I tell you what, though, I love the scene though when Ulf comes in like 2 seconds after that, and I love that Roddy is just like, I can't get away from this, and just embraces it. He's like, ah.
Yeah. I mean, Ormond is a very unlikable character who I hated for a long time. I fear him to die. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with all this, Tumbledon stuff.
He might even be worse than Kristen Cole.
I think he is, yeah, because Kristen Cole at least knew his station in life. Like Ormond is like, oh God, I'm so glad he's gone. So at the end of the episode, where's my little picture here of our friend? Where's my picture here of Freddie Fox? This is the end of the episode where we last see Sir Gawain, and he's like, Darren, and he's like, he's alive, but like they've all been burned by dragons. We don't ever see Darren. We do see that this guy lives. I don't know if you can say anything about, because you've read the book, you don't want to say much, right? But we don't really see if Darren to me, we don't see if Darren's alive at the end, right?
No, it does not show if he is or not. We don't see Darren again this season.
No, and Sir Gawain's alive, and he's about it for the high towers that are left, unless Darren's alive, and of course, Alicent is still gallivanting around the area.
Yeah, we see Alicent for 5 seconds in this episode in the woods with her escorts. And
I did download a photograph of her because I felt like, did I get an Alicent? I don't know. I mean, we do have a thing where we didn't really talk about the whole Helena thing, which we probably should.
Well, that's literally the end of the episode. And
but it's also in the beginning.
Before we get to Helena,
all right.
Did you notice the look on Damon's face after everything was over? Damon had this oh shit look on his face,
yes.
He had this look on his face like, I'm never going home again because she's going to fucking kill me.
I agree. Like Damon has that extended fight with this guy where they're and then when all the flaming stuff comes upon them, right? He wakes up, he can't hear, and there's that moment where Damon looks around and he sees like there's a mother carrying her little baby who's probably dead. There's all these burned up people. There's all the he sees everything. And I think you're right that he was like, oh my God. I think he might have actually felt a little bad for these people, right? Damon usually holds himself so much higher. He's like, I'm a god, I'm a Valyrian, I'm a Targaryen, I'm the greatest. But I think he kind of felt a little bad for all these people. And yes, Rhaenyra's going to kick my ass.
All right, so now Helena.
So let's go to Helena. I have a picture from last week, which is the important photograph. Let me scoot up here. Our friend Helena. I was a little, Helena, where are you? Here you are. Helena had a dream last week about her in this blue dress with this white horse, and it totally happens. Yep. But it doesn't happen as much as I thought. Like, it happens to be just like she sees the white worm, is that her name?
Yeah.
Masseria coming out, and Masseria is like, oh, don't trust her. She's a giant bitch. She's going to kill you. Which, not wrong, but I don't know. Masseria. I don't know.
Masseria was just running at the mouth because all of a sudden Rhaenyra is like, I'm done with this whisper in my ear.
I don't think maybe Rhaenyra would have killed Elena.
I don't either. I mean, we'll never know, but
we'll never know. But I think she didn't really want to do that. They are sisters, right? Half sisters. Yeah. And Helena's she was a very non-threatening, peaceful kind of person, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rhaenyra is like, what are you doing? You can't, I'm going to, when she force feeds her, it was really, I mean, she's on a hunger strike. She can't be allowed to die, I guess. But that all just proved to, I guess when Rhaenyra force-fed Helena, it proved to Helena that Rhaenyra will never let her leave.
Right.
And that her child's a hostage. And that her whole vision came true. I don't know if that happens in the book, but I was a little surprised that she jumped out of the window. But I was not surprised when I saw that you saw it's basically an Easter egg. Like, I think that the window that she jumps from is essentially this. It's identical to the window that Tommen jumps from in Game of Thrones, right?
I don't know if it's the same window.
I think it's the same window. I think it's when I saw it and they showed it open with all that white lattice work. I think it might be the same place that Tommen jumps from.
It could be. I hadn't even thought about that. But to answer your question, yes, that is exactly how Helena dies in the book.
Oh, she does jump out of the window and kill herself. All right. I was a little surprised that she was taken off the board this early because I thought her having visions and all might have meant more. I don't know, but it doesn't because by the end of the episode, like she jumps and I think Rhaenyra's kind of sad about it, right? I don't think Rhaenyra intended for any of that to happen.
Well, no, she. I mean, as far as Helena, I mean, Helena's in a parallel boat that Darren's in. She's like, I'm gonna be a prisoner the rest of my life.
Yeah.
All these people, my family are a bunch of fucking crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
And, none of them, that conversation she has with Rhaenyra about, seeing the beauty in something. And Rhaenyra's like, oh, when summer comes back, you'll have to show me. And she's like, you don't care. You're just saying this to appease me. She's like, because you don't see the beauty in anything. Like, she's the least Targaryen of Targaryens. She's nothing like any of them. She's very sweet and docile and, sees the beauty in things. And
she's a little bit like 100 years later in Game of Thrones, Cersei had a daughter whose name what was Cersei's daughter name?
Start
with an M. Not with an M, but she was a very sweet and nice girl, right? Also.
Yes. So they married her off.
Yeah.
To Dorne. But yeah, I think she just decided, death was better than continuing to deal with all this lunacy around her.
But yeah, it was really sad.
Marcella. Thank you, Kelly.
Marcella. Thank you, Kelly. And so then, like, we had this, it's not a great shot because it was HBO gave me. There was a better shot of this, but like Rhaenyra comes to the room, she stands in that window, and then she finds this tapestry that Helena's been sewing the entire show, and that's the entire credit sequence that we watch. and she sees herself, this part of her sitting on the Iron Throne or whatever. I mean, this tapestry is a bit of a prophecy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much Rhaenyra really believed it, but it was kind of a cool way to end.
Yeah, you can see the look on her face too. She looks at this tapestry and she kind of has an oh fuck moment.
Yeah.
So that is that.
So were you surprised at any part of the end of this? I mean, you're a book reader. I don't want you to spoil it, but there's a lot of stuff that's diverging, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a bunch of changes, but my whole thing, like I always say with adaptations, is as long as they hit the high notes, that's the most important thing. It's when you take big moments from a book and completely subvert it, kind of like The Walking Dead did. That's when I have a problem.
Right.
But I was a little nervous after Corliss died. I was like, oh, what the fuck are they doing?
But they didn't die.
Since he wasn't dead, I felt better. The Battle of Tumbledon happens differently, but it's essentially this, it's not enough of a change that it matters that much.
All right, so it goes to the same end or whatever, yeah.
The big moments that need to happen are yet to be.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where we're going, but we're going to wait 2 years probably. But in season 4, I would expect all these dragons to kill each other off, right? The Dance of Dragons. And I would expect at least 2 years because I want them to spend a shit ton of money giving me a lot of dragon fighting. Because you know what? I like the Battle of Tumbledon, but it was very... I feel like last week and 2 weeks ago were much more dragon-horrific than this final episode tonight. Which is fine, but I want some dragon shit in the next year. Let's get it. Let's see it, right?
Yep. It's been between 22 and 24 months per between seasons.
Has it really?
Yep.
I guess it didn't feel like that much, but you're right. It's been 2 years. And it takes a lot to do all this posts or whatever. So I get it. I guess, but I mean, I always give them credit for doing all this dragon stuff, but then HBO gives me this, and I'm like, oh my god, it's total CGI. Can I do it on my laptop myself? Come on, right? It looks so good on my TV and so bad on these little shots. Yep.
Oh, probably text Jamie.
All right,
I'm back. I got your text. I was sitting here waiting.
Oh, I didn't know Karen texted you.
Yeah, I had heard the text.
Right. So I think we're done tonight, right?
We are done.
That's it. Well, thank you, everybody who's joined us. I see we've got some new people while you guys were talking about House of Dragon. So that's very cool.
Too bad it's over.
Yeah, but well, it'll be back, right? I'm assuming it's been renewed, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, then at least we'll be back.
Yeah,
but
it'll be back in 2 years. Like we were just talking about.
Joined us. Like I said, tomorrow at 10:30 Eastern, we have Librarians the Next Chapter, episodes 3 and 4. And Sunday at 10, we're going to have trivia and games for Scarlett's birthday. So make sure you all come back and make sure you join our Discord if you're not a member so you can get our schedule. And we play games there often as well and watch parties, all that fun stuff. And other than, like I said, your Walking or Dead City interview went up a couple days ago, so people could check that out at scifivision.com. And there's some other stuff coming. So yeah. All right. Well, that's, I guess, it for tonight. Everybody, good night.
Bye.
Good night, all.
Good night. Sure. Thanks for coming. Oops.